Now broadcasting from the Next Gen Conservative Studio in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report with Sam Whitfield.
Hey folks, welcome to the Whitfield Report. I am your host, Sam Whitfield, alongside Apex Gamma.
Hey folks.
And joining us here tonight, I can't say I've been nervous for a guest like this, at least not since I had Ben Shapiro on way back in the day, back when I did radio only. But the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Matthew Vicious Vickers is joining us. And first off, sir, welcome to the program. You already have fans in the chat.
I have so many fans of different sorts.
I'm sure, sir. So first off, welcome to the program, and thank you for doing this. And I wanted to bring you on because there seems to be a lot of misconceptions of kind of who you are. I know that you're known primarily for one corner of the internet, but just briefly, could you kind of just give a brief background of who you are for us real quick?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm just a dude. California, born and raised California, originally from Southern California, until I got married to my wife. I was, were we 21? Sorry, she's always right next to me to make sure I don't say something stupider than I usually say. Got married, moved up to Northern California and moved around, had a kid, then another kid, then another kid, then another kid, then another kid. And then within that time frame, I was mostly, I worked in finance. When I was in school, I wanted to be an artist, but then I learned really fast that I like two things. I like shelter and I like food. So that didn't work out for like the artist thing. So I went into finance and it worked much better. For that, I worked in mutual funds for a while, and then went into retail banking, which is a complete joke of a profession, in my opinion. And did that for a long time, for about, I think, a decade. And then November 2008 was a really bad time to be a middle management retail banker. Yep. So found myself with an opportunity and kind of took a little risk, put our life savings into buying a coin shop of all things, just because it seemed like it translated really well into it doesn't sound like it does. But at that time, this was September of 2009. Everything was silver and gold. Everything was investment.
Yeah.
And so that went over really well with what I learned, and that worked out really good for us in our lifestyle. My wife has some health problems that on more than one occasion kind of put my job at risk when I'm like, hey, I got to go home or else my kids might, not be able to be taken care of well.
Sure.
And everybody says family first, but private businesses. Yeah. I never got fired, for having to leave. And I never took a day off that I didn't have accrued. So I always kind of felt good about that, but it's definitely easier, working for yourself it's a different kind of stress.
Sure.
But for our lifestyle and the way things work, it's a lot more freedom. So that's what I've been doing for the last 13 years. And that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
That's actually really excellently concise. All things I didn't know, actually. And for the uninitiated, because certainly there are many people that are, but can you give a brief intro as to how you got introduced to this corner of the internet, or the internet, I guess, at large?
This dark, scary corner of the internet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, you can keep it brief because, again, there's many people know the story. But
most people know it. I'll give the TLDR on it. Let's see. So 2020-ish, my oldest child, Faith, turned 18. Was it 2020 or 2019?
2019.
Oh, 2019, right? Because she was born in 2001. Jesus, math is fun. And so, but she fell into the class of 2020, and of course, we all know anybody who fell into the graduating class of 2020 kind of got screwed.
Oof, yeah.
So, and she had been suffering with some depression and different stuff. And then a gentleman by the name of Ethan Oliver Ralph, a 34-year-old live streamer, apparently had been chatting her up online and convinced her to fly on out in the dead of night over to his home on the other side of the country from where I am in Richmond, Virginia, where she was plied with alcohol and impregnated, and eventually kind of got her brain unscattered and
drugs.
Oh, and what?
And drugs. And
oh,
drugs,
he gave her.
yeah.
Oh, he did give her dry. I don't know much past the marijuana. Was there other drugs that I wasn't aware of?
That's my impression. I didn't really ask for a list. I don't even know how much she was aware of which drugs they were, to be completely honest, because she was so drunk.
Yep. So I don't know how much of Mrs. Vicious Vickers you can hear, but anyway, long story short, not exactly sure how much of that stuff going on, but she certainly spent a good amount of time intoxicated, and obviously she was only 18, so the alcohol was provided by somebody who was older. Came back, had the baby, definitely decided to keep it. We're all no abortion people over here. Even Faith in her craziest time was not gonna go with that idea. And so now I'm a grandpa at 45, and that's
congratulations
kind of
on that, by the way. And from what I see on Twitter, he's a healthy young man. Yeah,
healthy kid, cute as hell, really, really loud, which is kind of funny. But it's funny. He's the first baby I've met. He is definitely louder when he's happy than he is when he's angry.
Nice.
And he can be heard from a long ways away when he's in a good mood. But other than that, yeah, everything's kind of stable. And, we got the different court things and different legal things going on with Mr. Ralph. But same thing. People cover that to death. So it's probably well known for most of the people what's going on. And then I just I've gone on a couple of shows, and I kind of really enjoyed doing this, and I like hobbies. And so I'm like, I'll throw my hat in. Why not? I got the benefit of the business is the downside is my shop's an hour away from where I live, but the upside is I have employees. So, and they know what they're doing. Since COVID started, I handle mostly, my wife's kind of the specialist with the collectible stuff. I handle large clients with the big gold and silver order stuff that, $50,000 and above. And once COVID came along, and they're like, "Shit, you mean I could just do this by text?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can drop shit to you. I type it up on a computer anyway. Why do I have to get up?"
Right.
And that worked out really well for me, because then I was just like, "Yeah, I made a couple $1,000s before I took a shit in the morning. Yay!" It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen every morning.
Sure,
but it happens enough that
to feel good about it. Damn it. Yeah.
Well, it is what it is, and certainly the state, that part of the business does better without even taking a political stance. It does better when there's a Democrat or a liberal in office, and that's just the way it is. Because whether or not any of it is true, and it's without taking a political stance. I mean, I take plenty, but without even having to do it, the people in the demographic who buy precious metals to hedge against inflation get more worried. It's like gun sales and silver and gold sales go up when there's a Democrat in office. It's just universally true, especially in California. They really, the red in California really start freaking out. Get it before you can't get it anymore.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, so to be perfectly honest, this is one of the big reasons why I wanted to have you on, because, I first heard you, as everyone else did, because of the whole Ethan Ralph drama. And to be honest, as I'll tell you, and as Apex will tell you, I mean, like you, I kind of got sucked into this darker corner of the, internet, kind of against my will, first through this weirdo named Owen Benjamin, and then these other weirdos who are now trying to kind of emulate Ralph, it seems. But like you, I have interest outside of this whole e-drum. I'm a political guy, and I'm also a nerd, and I saw that I've been following your tweets, and you and I kind of have the same interests, and so I'm like, oh, shoot, this guy has interest outside of blood sports. So the fact that you're doing a show, to me, is extremely fascinating. Without diving too much into the nit and grit, one of the things that I've been asked ever since I announced that you and I were doing the shows, well, he's just doing this for clout because
that's my favorite. That's my favorite.
That's one of my favorite too, because I needs the clout so bad. Yeah, there's a lot of super famous people in this side of the internet that so many people have heard of. You know how many people I've had to explain, like, outside of the realm of the internet, who this person is.
This.
Everybody is like, huh?
Right.
It's 84-year-old mother.
Yeah. It's virtually impossible. I mean, if they have no understanding, oh no, we lost Sammy. If they have no understanding of social media at large, that, oh man. Well, here we are again, folks.
Okay.
Everybody's back. Woo!
Once every show since Sammy started using this Melon app. Sorry about that, Mr. Vickers.
It's okay.
I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, that is, Sammy. You were kind of getting into a question I was going to ask, and what is your thought process on your channel, like what you intend to make? You just kind of you're going to do commentary stuff? You're going to play games? Like what are you thinking?
We're kind of, like I said, hobby for me, and that's let's like focus on the reality of the situation.
Sure.
If like tomorrow I woke up and said, this is stupid, I don't want to do this anymore, my life changes zero.
Exactly. Yeah,
for sure. It affects nothing. If I didn't think it was fun, I wouldn't be doing it. But no, I got in touch with Gator, when some obvious shit went down that a lot of people in this corner were paying attention to.
Yeah.
He and I had been going back and forth. I mean, some people saw that we were going at each other's throats, just hardcore. And it, I don't know how much fun he was having with it, but I don't get really concerned about that kind of stuff. But I had reached out to him before, and I was like, hey, look, you seem like a decent dude. I got some false stuff, and I'm not going to go too much into our DMs because I don't share DMs, but we really just wanted to reach out to him and say, I, believe it or not, I'm a pretty nice guy. If you don't release revenge porn on my daughter and try to destroy her life, I'm a fucking teddy bear. But he and I went back and forth, and so I wanted to make sure, because even when that bridge was burned, he was still seeming like, yeah, Vickers is still kind of a dick. So I was like, look, man, I'm sorry about anything I did. Let's move on. And Gator's cool. I enjoy talking to Gator, and he's a funny guy.
He's always been cool. The only problem I think most of us had was the gun guarding thing, and once that wall fell, a whole new Gator has, the Gator we all knew was under there.
Yeah.
And I have to be honest, unlike Sammy, I've been paying attention to this whole thing since the first fake interview with you that I believe Turk February pretended to be you. And then I listened to the actual interview with you and your wife, I believe.
Right. Which is the first I saw of you and thought, geez, this guy is cool.
Well, but that was my thing. You always seemed, in the face of it all, relatively lighthearted and good humored, good natured. You seem to be.
No, and you know what? That's
good spirited, I guess.
It's kind of, because a lot of people, come like, why is he just cracking wise and being all lighthearted when all this shit's going on like that? Because that's who I am. It's who I've always been, and it's one of the reasons I'm pretty decent at sales. It's a lot of my job is, earning people's trust and just getting along. I get along with everybody. And I don't know why anybody would expect that to change too much, but pisses some people off, and that's okay. They can not like me or think it's weird. But it's kind of, it's a tenet of my personality, and it's not like I'm 19 or 20 or some of these young bucks that are hanging around giving me grief. I'm 45 years old now, at 43 when it happened. it's not and it's not even a stubbornness like I'm not going to change, damn it, I'm going to be who I'm going to be. It's just that that's who I am, and it's
a fact of nature
not,
kind of
yeah
thing.
it's not going to change. Why am I going to sit around and be miserable? Right now everything's kind of nice, there's a curveball thrown that you deal with, but if we're hang on, my wife's waving at me. Yes.
The other big thing is we weren't going to let Ralph take anything else away from us.
Oh yeah, she breaks it. We're not going to let Ralph take anything else away from us. Why give up, the charming aspects of our lives?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And that's a good point that she breaks. But it's like, and that's the same with the stream, with the good, the bad, and the vicious thing, which is literally me originally talking to Gator and say, hey, you have a good radio voice. You want to try a stream at some point? It's like, why not? It's not, it wasn't born on, man, it would probably really piss somebody off, and that would be hilarious. That's just it's an added benefit. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But otherwise it's I think the essential idea, we're going to find a groove if it lasts past one episode and we go along of just coming up with a topic. We have lists and lists of topics, and we're trying to settle on one, and that's why we eventually did the Twitter poll. Because like, okay, you pick one, I pick one, Akiba picks one, and let's throw it up there and let's let the audience decide what we're going to talk about. And last time I looked, horror video games, which was Akiba's, is leading by a landslide. So, and that's cool because I could talk about that. But then we're just going to talk about good stuff that's with that, and bad stuff, and then the stuff that may just destroy people's lives. If it's wrong, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where we're going to go with horror video games as far as destroying people's lives, except for, I've come close to putting a bullet in my mouth as many times as I've had to heard the FNAF song that my kids play
God.
in the background.
Oh my Lord.
So, yeah, that's come close to making me neck myself. Not quite there.
I would argue that those aren't even video games, but maybe I'm just.
I would argue the same fucking thing, but they argue back, and it's like 5 against 1. So what am I going to do?
Yeah, you're losing that every day.
Well, I've had a few back and forths with Faith, and I think Elmo is about ready to drive.
Yeah, all that shit is his revenge for me. Like, yeah, well, I've been there. Have fun with it.
Karma's a bitch, eh, kiddo?
Yep. Elmo gets us all at the end. That little red fuzzy bastard.
So, well, yeah. I think it's great that you're extending an olive branch to Gator, and obviously I kind of figured that you weren't planning on doing it to piss anyone off. You seem like the type of guy who wanted to do a show for the heck of it, but it's hilarious that that's the perception,
and perhaps reveling in the fact that there's some people that won't like it. It's like that's like an afterthought.
Yeah,
my wife's what. Mrs. Vicious is over here nodding her head furiously, like, yeah, he nailed that one. Like, yeah, no, that's a good point. And I'm gonna be honest, just there's part of me that's like, I've had some decent accomplishments in my life, and I've had some success, and same thing, it's a hobby, but the last hobby that I had turned into a business that does like 2 to 7 million in revenue every year. So
yeah, exactly.
Why not? If it's fun, try it out.
Well, if there's one thing that if the one thing I know sells on the internet, if you want to say quote unquote sells, is just honesty, genuinity. When people are genuine, and it sells across the board in various niches, Right. But this little corner of the internet that where you emerged from, it seems to be a difficult thing to grasp. That's where all the grifters talk, and which again a lot of the times is true. But when one pops up and is, and in your case wasn't seeking the limelight, just happened to be there and is perhaps worthy of it,
we'll find out.
It's a shock to the system. Well, it would seem so. People seem to like you.
Some do.
Yeah,
some do. The ones that don't, I think, have Thank you, Mrs. Vicious. She's like, I like you. I won't lie that I find a little bit of humor. I find a lot of humor. That was dishonest when I said a little bit of humor. I find a lot of humor in some of the misconceptions, and I try not to go looking for them. But then people email me or text me or DM
Of
me all
course,
this stuff
yeah.
all the time, and they're like, "Oh, they're complaining now that you face doxed your kids on the intro video." Face doxed by, oh, he doesn't even care about protecting them. They're all fucking babies in that screenshot. None of them look like that anymore. It's that's the kind of stuff. It brings a smile to my heart because it's like, does any the level of stupidity.
Well, the thing is,
it's delightful.
It is, and the level of depravity is pretty.
Oh, that's out there in droves, man.
It can be pretty scary too. But
Yeah,
there's something I wanted to bring up, which I've heard, I know is prevalent in your family, and I don't even know where to begin with it. But what's your history with firearms? Like, when did you see? It seems to be a big part of your family. Yeah.
When I graduated high school, my high school graduation gift was a Beretta 92 FS. Because that's how my family rolled, even in Southern California.
Nice.
Even your parents, comes from your parents.
You graduate high school, you get a firearm. It's like, here you go, and then they kick you out into the world, and you go crazy. But no, I mean, I shot when I was really young. I mean, it's not like 2 or 3, but since I was a kid and I was able to hold a gun, my dad made sure to get us out and go shooting. Rifles, shotguns. Did a little bit of hunting. Didn't do as much as I wanted to do as a kid. There were not a lot of great hunting areas. And then, moved out, got married, had, what was the story? I'll tell you guys a good story. I was telling a customer earlier today, we were talking about it. And actually Mrs. Vicious was there when we were dating. She was, we were 19. I think we were 19. It was right after we graduated high school. And my dad, he liked the Bud Light, but he was working on some cars with some friends, and he came not 3 sheets to the wind, 1.5 sheets. He was 1.5 sheets to the wind, and came home and Ariana and I were watching just TV and over at my house, and she still lived with her parents, but we hung out all the time as we were 19. But my dad comes home, he's like, "Hey, I need you to drive me to San Bernardino, like 45 minutes away." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Turner's is having this sale on Russian SKS rifles, unissued military rifles, still packed in the fucking grease, right?" Woo! And so he takes us out there, and obviously I'm a big Second Amendment guy, but this was kind of fucking nuts. He walks in, right, $120 a piece.
What?
This isn't like 1942, right? 1996, 97. Walks in, and he fucking walks out with 6 of them. Still in the box and everything. These were cool ass guns at the time. They had the fucking bayonet still on them.
Wow.
They had a little hollowed out spring-loaded compartment in the stock that had this little capsule that there were a bunch of little tubes you could put together, and that was your cleaning rod. I mean, the thing was ready to go. Came with a little oil canister for a belt and a couple of things. Anyway, these guns were cool as shit. 10-round internal mag, 7.62 by 3.9 NATO rounds. Fantastic little guns, and they already had like conversion kits on the market. So he bought 6. He gave one to me. He gave one to my brother. He gave one to my mom, which probably explains why they divorced a couple years later. She probably wanted something different. But and then my cousin went down and bought some more the next day. And then the same thing, Second Amendment guy, but it took my cousin who, not the brightest guy, but it took him about 30 minutes to turn it into a fully automatic and stick a 30-round mag in it. So.
Oh, wow.
But so, I mean, and then when we got married, so I had my SKS when we got married, and I had my 92 FS, and those were the only guns we had for quite a while, just because wage working, paycheck to paycheck normal people. And it wasn't, once I bought the coin shop, Jesus Christ, we just bought gun after gun after gun after gun after gun. And then I got an FFL. What Har?
I was saying, yeah, and then we got the FFL.
And then I got an FFL. I had FFL for 6 years because I'm like, there was people, if they're bringing me estate stuff, they're bringing me coins. I'm like, they keep asking me where to sell guns, and I got sick of sending them across the street. And so I'd have people, if they came in with a quote, I had a guy bring in a over under 12 gauge Orion shotgun, which gorgeous. I had $1,100, retail over under shotgun. Yeah. And he went around to all these gun stores, and he's like, the best I could find is $300 was the highest offer. I'm like, I'll give you $400 right now. And he's like, well, That's the most I'm going to get for it. So, and I mean, that's, you know, argue that it's fair price or not fair price from the other people. It depends on how long it's going to take them to sell it. California is a shit market for used guns. Everybody who's buying guns in California wants new guns. AR-15s, when they could get them, was like the only thing people were buying. But I ended up just, accumulating a lot of firearms during that time because I didn't sell many of them because nobody really wanted to buy them.
What for the audience? What is an FFL?
Federal firearms license. I'm sorry.
Okay, so that you can buy and sell.
You can buy it. Well, that's the federal level of it, which is really actually pretty simple. Pass a background check, do an interview. They basically the feds want to make sure that you're not in it to collect a cheap arsenal, that you're in it to actually make a buck, right? Has anybody ever watched Parks and Recreation?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Ron Swanson is the guy who interviewed me from the FFL. I mean, he literally sat down and was like, "This is all you got to do for the federal stuff, but then you got to deal with fucking California." I'm like, all right. And he said they're going to be a pain in the ass, and that was it's one of the reasons I didn't renew it the third time is because California. It wasn't that it was hard. It wasn't that it was that expensive. It's that there's so much stuff to do that the time you put into it. And I mean, I had the first 3 years I had my FFL, Kamala Harris was the Secretary of State.
Oh, fuck.
Attorney General.
Yeah.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. The AG. She was the Attorney General. The
AG,
Attorney General, was in charge of. Sorry, I went to Secretary of State because I was thinking of the notary stuff. Anyway, Attorney General. And so she was in charge of, before you could use the online, if you want to sell somebody a gun and do all the draw stuff and the whole 9 yards, you'd have to make sure that you'd read all the announcements, right? And I mean, it was a time system, so you couldn't just like click on it and say read. You had to stay in it for a minute and then go. And there was like 3 or 4 a day. So if you're like me and you're not selling a gun every day because a coin shop primarily, then you have to catch up on like 82 different notices and make the customer wait there for an hour and a half just so you can get into the goddamn system and do the paperwork to get a gun issued. So it was just never that popular of a thing from my shop. But yeah, I ended up with some cool shit. I ended up with some stupid shit.
The camel gun is my favorite.
Well, the camel gun didn't require an FFL. The goose gun's my favorite. I have a 12 gauge lever action 5 detachable mag goose shotgun. The thing's as tall as I am. It's ridiculous. But man, if you need to hit a goose from 1.5 miles away with a full choke shotgun, it'll do it.
Because there are lots of geese out there in California, right?
They're actually it's funny where we are. Yeah, we have a bunch that wander around the shop. Yeah. And shit all over the parking lot. Attack little kids. Man, geese are vicious.
Well, cool. That's just again, that may just be a little sidebar. I wanted to interject. I know Sam's got like a show prep thing, but I was curious about that because I've heard you guys talk a lot about firearms, and I don't know if I misheard you at some point say gun shop for coin shop, or if I conflated the FFL and you acquiring guns through the coin shop. But I thought you guys went to gun shop.
We did. Well, I mean, it's an FFL, so it was also a gun shop for some time. And we, I just had to get a couple things signed off on the business license to do both. But basically, the secondhand dealer part of it, that was what handled. Yeah, the guns.
So I didn't conflate them. I just
Sure. Yeah. They were technically separate. I had to do it for insurance purposes. One type of business was separate and the other type. It's all in the same location. It's all just bureaucratic paperwork bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, and actually Apex kind of unknowingly kind of segued into my next set of questions, which is whenever I have a guest from the West Coast and specifically from California, I always ask what is it like to be a conservative, someone who's generally red in just a sea of blue. That's always fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's regionally we're pretty red. I mean, so we're the county we live in, Nevada County, pretty purple. So you know, a little bit. It's probably about 50-50. You get
because San Francisco liberals.
Yeah, and that's my wife brings up the perfect point. A lot of San Francisco liberals come and then retire out in Nevada County, because there's trees and it's pretty and there's no shit in the streets. I mean, if there is, it's from an animal, not a person.
Right.
There's still like horse-drawn carriages that do rides and stuff in the downtown areas. It's a historic gold country, and a lot of it's really cool. So I love where we live. And I love where we work for the most part. Placer County is where our business is. Placer County is deep red. I mean, they're as red as red can get. That county always goes Republican. But our prime demographic for our business is also pretty much red. So for us, it's like we have our friends. Some of them aren't as conservative as us. Some of them are more conservative than us. But for business, yeah, some of our customers make us look liberal. That's hard. It's hard to do. But so from us, there's still. I tell a lot of people, especially, and we've known the whole. There's people who just don't like Californians. I get it. I don't like a lot of them. But it's still the most populated state in the union, and we still have more registered registered Republicans, but we have, if you take the amount of people who vote red, it can add up to like more than the entire population of certain states. There's still plenty of good old-fashioned traditional conservatives out in California. We're just outnumbered.
Yeah, right.
Most of it's confined to very specific regions. So if you look at the whole map, you get this whole big middle section of red out where the farmers are, and it's a stretch between Sacramento to LA and we drive it all the time because how much we love Disneyland. We're so well known for that. But if you drive the Highway 5 down from Sacramento to LA, it's mostly just farmland. It's mostly agriculture, and not I'm looking for Judge Dredd type mega cities with walled in.
Yeah, the mega
craziness.
Yeah, and that's one of the arguments that over the years for like splitting California up, right? Because the cities have such a dense population that they're making policies for the farmers that take up most of the space and make up most of the food.
And most of and there's so much there's so many resources from Northern California that get diverted to Southern California. If anybody's heard of or seen pictures of the California Aqueduct, that is that's just, hey, we need water coming from LA, and it's just, you guys have some, and we do. We have more than they do, but that's all it is. It's diverting resources from up here to down there, and it's a big state. But yeah, that's I don't think they'll ever get it to happen, but if they do, it'd be pretty cool.
Well,
to be fair,
yeah, and we would be in the secession area, my wife points out, so we would be Jeffersonians at that point.
To be fair, Canada's like the same thing on a like a uber magnified scale too. You know what I mean? Way more space with a couple of just ridiculously densely populated areas,
that
make up the decisions for the whole goddamn territory.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially now with all the shit that's going on, and in Canada with them locking people up. I'm surprised people haven't seceded from there already.
The Great Canadian Revolution is coming.
People wonder where all those trucks came from.
Yeah.
What do you make real quick of the whole governor's race between I guess it wasn't really a race, but the attempt to recall Gavin Newsom.
The attempted recall. Yeah, I never thought it was going anywhere.
Okay,
of course not.
We wanted it to. I'm not a Newsom fan. I mean, Newsom like destroyed San Francisco.
And his family is actually from where we live.
Yeah, and his family is from actually where we live. But no, I watched. We all watched San Francisco turn for. We used to go to San Francisco all the time. My wife had specialists out there at UC San Francisco in their medical clinics and rheumatology and stuff. And we used to go out there all the time, and we'd go to Pier 39 and have a great time with the kids. And as long as you knew where not to go, the normal crime-riddled areas, you could have a lot of fun in San Francisco, and it wasn't, the in-your-face craziness, that even back then some people portrayed it to be. But yet, not anymore. Like, not for the last 3 years. It's the last time we were there, I think 3 or 4 years ago about 3 years ago on a school trip. For the our kids are homeschooled, but the program we use still does a lot of expedition learning. So you go out with groups of other families and check it out. And went down to Chinatown. I mean, when you have to hold your he's 7 now, so he'd have been 4. When you have to hold your 4 or 5-year-old's hand to lead him around the passed out heroin guy on the sidewalk in the middle of the daylight, whose lips are turning white and he's probably just dying as you speak, and you're like, call somebody, and just leave him, okay. And then 10 feet from him, you're stepping over the dump that he took. It's not like for the people who think like it's a joke and like the poop maps and stuff. No, it's totally fucking real. It's disgusting. It's terrifying. We haven't been back since then, and we used to go at least several times. It's only 2 hours, 2.5 hours from us. It's not a long way.
The first time we went was 9th grade.
Yeah, first time we were there was 9th grade when we days gone by. I'm gonna start singing show tunes here, memory show tunes. But it was a fun place to visit. But like, no, there's no reason to go anymore. You can't have fun.
Yeah, I remember.
You can't enjoy yourself.
You'd have to be some sort of psychopath, right? Like you'd have to have some sort of mental. Look, I'm going to try to make
people say that I am.
No, not. I'm not saying
no. Different kind of psychopath. Yes, got it.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, no, you're the worst kind from what I read on the farms.
Oh, they love you.
No, but I've been to New York City one time, and I was born in South Texas. Outside of Houston. I'm not really a city boy. I did live in Oklahoma City, which you could drive through and blink and miss.
Right.
But so I went to downtown New York City one time for New Year's, and it was kind of on a whim to go to an artist of mine's gallery on the last day it was open. It was like a New Year's celebration. It was kind of a dream come true, and it all happened real quickly. We got up there, found a parking space in Lower Manhattan in front of this building that we were going to, which was just unheard of. We were expected to walk for miles. Anyway, went and did our thing, had fun, and then we slept in this little Mustang. And this was, again, from
a car, not a horse, right?
Right. The car.
I was making sure it wasn't like a Empire Strikes Back kind of scenario.
No, me and my buddy, I'm the taller one, so I was curled up in the back seat. But it was, again, New Year's celebration. And I took some drugs, some hallucinogens. I'm not going to lie to you. But I was sitting in this car at
I have some on me right now.
2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it was. And the streets, it was like a zombie horde. But all the dudes were wearing, I'm not even kidding, dude. They were shuffling down the street from wall to building to building. All the women were wearing they were very scantily clad short skirts and, low tops. No, not a fucking jacket or sweater to be seen. But the dudes, they were all suave and cozy as could be. And I remember watching these people walk by, and somebody threw up on the window next to me, of course, too. And just complete strangers walking down the street in Lower Manhattan in the middle. I'm like, I would die. I would literally die here. If I had to get out of this car right now, I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't even know where to go.
Yeah, that's what keeps me out of populated areas, man, despite my good nature. There's just too many assholes in the world, and it's like,
that was a relatively positive experience. I didn't interact with anybody. I just sat and observed. But it was like some ancient caveman shit. These women, it was January 1st in New York City. It was fucking 15 below zero at least, and they're walking around in high heels, trying to attract the dude with the thickest wallet. For fuck's sake. Anyway,
did you get any pictures?
No,
I'm kidding.
That was probably 2000. I think it was 2011. I don't even think I had a smartphone.
Oh, son of a bitch.
But anyway, did you watch Dune, Mr. Vickers?
I did not. You know what? Shit. You mentioned something about it on the last show when I was watching, and I was like, shit, I better watch that. You didn't ask me about it, and I didn't, so I apologize.
No, it's fine. I told you you didn't have to, but I actually rewatched it after that because I only saw it once in the theater. It's literally probably the best movie I've seen in a long time, and
Shit, now I gotta watch it.
it's very
Is
good.
Is it on HBO Max?
It is on
Yeah,
HBO Max.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
cool.
on HBO Max.
It's got to be the best score I've ever heard in conjunction with. It's good. It's very, very good.
All right.
But anyway,
okay, Mrs. Vicious is like thumbs up, so we'll put that on our watch list.
The only thing I will say is that it's missing Sting, which the 80s version
No.
did have.
No, it's not missing Sting. It is not missing Sting and his little fucking G-string. You crippled little homo. I know you want to.
Patrick Stewart was in the original too, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
he was. Yeah,
younger Patrick Stewart. Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God, yeah. I've never seen the original. I've seen a lot of clips, but my lord,
yeah,
it looks like
it's all bits and pieces, man. I was a kid when it was on cable, when my parents had like for a few years had cable before they're like, nah, fuck this, we're not paying for cable anymore. And so that was it. That was my limited exposure to it at the time.
All right, let me see.
Yeah, no, it's laughably bad.
Some random popular. When's the last time you watched South Park, Mr. Vickers?
Oh God.
Not recently, huh?
I've seen some of the recent ones. So South Park, like seasons 1 through probably 5, religiously made sure that I saw that. I mean, but this is way back in the day.
Of course, yeah.
When we first got married, I was so thrilled because I knew we were going to have Adult Swim Comedy Central at the time to play South Park. And then I turned on the TV in the middle of the day and the Comedy Central is gone. And I freaked out. And it's only because it didn't come on until night for that particular channel. Anyway, and then, of course, when the feature length came out, that was a great time. And then probably like 2 years later, I stopped following it. I still think it's hilarious when I see it. But like I see it mostly when we go to hotels and go stay somewhere, because we don't have anything pre-recorded and digital on, so we got to find something that's on, and then it comes across it. But like if you ask me to explain an episode and give you like a paraphrase of it beyond like they're making fun of masks, that's awesome, I wouldn't be able to do it.
No. I guess the reason I ask is because there's generational classics. The Simpsons, of course. Some people consider Family Guy. A lot of people consider South Park. But I'm 35 years old. So obviously I'm younger than you. I'm older than Sam. But South Park was kind of my Simpsons, even though The Simpsons was also my Simpsons.
Right.
And a lot of people my age and other people that I know and respect, they've got this whole South Park's not funny anymore thing. And they're on their 25th season,
right?
Just now, they just started it, and the first episode of it. You remember Token, the black kid?
Yeah.
This first episode, Stan learns that his name is Tolkien, as in J.R.R. Tolkien,
right?
That's fucking funny, dude. The whole episode is him Stan having a panic attack because he didn't realize he thought his name was Token, like the token black guy.
Right.
But yeah, so. No, they did some Trump era shit where Mr. Garrison is Trump, and I think that's where a lot of people like thought it wasn't fun anymore. But if you watch it, especially back, it's fucking hilarious, dude. Mr. Garrison is a perfect Donald Trump. He's perfect.
I believe it. Yeah, no, I always respected South Park especially when it was first on, because they took their shots at everybody. Yeah, but the creators, they're fucking real when they talk to people, and they every time they're willing to say, okay, well, this is kind of bullshit anyway, so let's make fun of it, even though we're gonna get flack for it. So yeah, that I always love that about South Park.
Yeah, there's savants, man. I mean, the Book of Mormon, they're damn near at the EGOT, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. The Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. If they don't have it already, I don't know if I'm not sure. But anyway, that was literally just a random because a popular culture thing that I thought of and wanted to ask.
Cool.
Sam, where are we at on your list there, bud?
And I was just gonna kind of add on to that. It's amazing how Team America World Police has just aged beautifully. I was probably about like
I haven't seen that. in a while. I saw it once or twice, but we're going back 20 something years. I have not rewatched it.
Yeah, I was probably 11 or 12 when that came out, and I saw it again recently, and I'm
the
like,
South Park movie? Oh no,
No-
Team America.
yeah,
The
no,
puppet, the
oh
puppet
my God.
movie.
Team America,
World Police.
and it's
World
and it's-
Police. It's so good, dude.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
and it's aged beautifully.
The puppet sex scene. I mean, look, the
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
The topical humor is top tier, but then obviously it is so meta. Going down street, Durka Durk. Everyone speaks in Durka Durka in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, man.
Oh man, I forgot.
Muhammad Jihad.
Oh shit, I'm flashing back to the puppet sex scene. I'm not
Sorry.
even drinking alcohol. It's okay.
Sorry,
It's okay.
Ricker.
They're just puppets. It wasn't real.
Exactly.
I tell myself that.
Which is why it's okay.
Yeah.
Fag.
I'm morally
Film
wrong.
Yeah,
Film
no, look,
Actors
yeah.
Guild.
They're fucking
film
puppets,
actors-
people. Come on.
And the Film Actors Guild instead of the Screen Actors Guild, they're all fags. You know, all the actors.
Right,
Alec Baldwin's a fag. Susan Sarandon's a fag. Oh, classic stuff. But anyway,
and that was even before Alec Baldwin shot at one.
Yeah. Shit.
oh shit.
Oh, that whole thing.
Yeah,
Incredible.
which as a gun guy, I'm almost kind of curious what your whole thought on that is. Actually,
So gun guy, I'm NRA certified instructor in basic pistol, personal protection inside the home, personal protection outside the home, basic shotgun, basic rifle, range safety officer, and some other shit that I can't remember. Like when you do an NRA class, rule numero uno is the guns are in one room and there's no fucking ammo, right? Anywhere.
I
You
would
don't
think
have
so.
ammo
I would
in the
think
same
not.
room, and it's so people don't get shot in the fucking face. It's the most common sense thing ever. So that the whole story where I lose it with the whole Baldwin thing in that movie is that they were out plinking in the fucking desert with the prop guns. So they're shooting live rounds through the guns within the vicinity of the set. Why the fuck are you using a gun that, one, can't even fire live rounds, and two, that means you got live rounds that have been in the gun or are going to be traveling with the gun? I mean, it was just whoever. I mean, Baldwin, whether or not he knew that there was real rounds in it by the time it was handed to him. I mean, if it's a legitimate class, then every time the gun changes a hand, you just check the fucker and make sure that it's loaded or unloaded. It's common sense. So it's just a bunch of people who were doing stupid shit. I mean,
as a passive observer, I have to think that Alec Baldwin is a retard, and he's not interested in firearms. He's on the set. He's a big shot. You know, he's sitting in his chair.
Well, no, he's the producer too, though. He needs to fucking that, and that's where his responsibility comes in my opinion, is that he was the producer, and that kind of falls under the umbrella of shit that he should have pretended taking care of.
Producer isn't just a title that gets them paid in a lot of these productions. You know what I mean? Like, these people don't do, you know, especially Alec Baldwin. He's sitting in a chair. If he's not pointing an actual weapon at somebody and shooting them in the gut and killing them, he's doing a finger gun and saying, "Come over here and suck my dick," or, you know, something absurd like that. You know,
I mean, I can't confirm or deny that, but who knows? Yeah.
It's not out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's not. I mean, I've never met him, so he's never asked me to, but and I wouldn't if he did.
From women's point of view, he's lost a lot of his looks, though.
Oh yeah, my wife adds, from a woman's point of view, because she found him quite the attractive man, like back in the days of The Shadow. But then she's like, "Nah, it's not working. It's not working anymore for Mrs. Vicious." She's like, "No."
Well, now look, you know, if he put a pretend or real gun to your head, who knows?
Well,
there's only like a 9% chance that it's loaded, but
Right.
fuck, that's more than enough.
That's a good enough.
Yeah.
That's a good enough.
Well,
that's bad enough odds that, you know, I might have to pucker up. Sorry.
Well,
as long as he keeps his fucking thumb off the hammer, as long as it's a single shot, I still think you got time to slap that fucker away. The
I
gun.
would have to agree. I watch a lot of those self-defense, those YouTube guys that teach you how to get away from gunfire right in front of your face. You know what I'm talking about? Those I've learned a lot from them. You definitely don't get shot in the face when you try to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, not at all.
yeah.
Never happens. Never happens.
Yeah, and all I was going to say is he used to be married to Kim Basinger, and now he's looking like an older Ethan Ralph.
Oh, fuck's sake.
No, actually.
Are you sure older?
Come on. Have you seen Ethan Ralph lately?
Yeah.
He looks like he's fucking 76 years old.
Oh,
Good,
there's a lot of gray there, though.
Good God.
Look, Ethan Ralph is like, he's like 2 years older than me, and I have a couple of gray hairs on the side of my face, I'm like on my sideburns area.
Yeah, I got my Ra's al Ghul stripes going on right here, and the top of my head's getting some gray, but there's almost no hair left there anyway, so I can get away with it. I'm just gonna shave it and say like, nah, man, it comes in black and luscious when I grow it out.
That was one of our first reactions to seeing Ethan Ralph. Oh, why does he look so much older than you?
Yeah, dude. Well, he was so much older than her, Mrs. Vickers, but he looked significantly older.
Oh,
He
yeah.
still does. Yeah.
Well,
Faith is the young lady.
Yeah, there's lifestyle, man. That's why this is like probably not Maker's Mark, and Chick-fil-A doesn't sell Maker's Mark.
Well, I hear you can catch all manner of gray from garbage burgers, and it only takes one.
This is the fucking needles that hide in garbage burgers you got to watch out for.
Hey,
what the fuck has that been?
You don't know what's going on in that garbage. That's the point. Only takes one garbage burger.
That's just garbage in general.
Apex, I didn't tell you this, but right before the show, I was eating dinner and I was DMing with Mr. Vickers, and I was on YouTube, and right as I clicked on to YouTube, even though I've already seen it, the infamous short video, which is the first video I had ever seen of Ethan Ralph. That was my intro to
what a thing to watch while you're eating, accidental or otherwise. Gentlemen, give me 2 minutes here real quick. I'm just gonna step away to my restroom.
Take your time. Take your time. I will tell you, Sammy, that I was of the impression when I first saw the shark video, I actually didn't think it was real. I thought somebody edited it, but the more it went on, I genuinely don't care if it's real or not, because it's equally funny regardless.
His meltdown at Nick Rekieta is what's even fun. Even funnier.
Again, that's the whole point. And Ethan is the type of person that should know this, and he may be some sort of mastermind. I doubt it, but he, this whole Conjuring drama shit, being the heel, playing the whole WWE character, which, by the way, if you're an adult man and you watch wrestling, sorry, Matt, you're gay. You are a gay man. Just come out of the closet and wrestle with your friends. Get oiled up. You'll feel better about yourself. You're gay. It's fine. Look, it's okay. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying. Wrestling is gay.
To clarify, he's talking at our Matt, not Mr. Vickers.
No, not Matthew Vickers. No, I would have said Mr. Vickers, and I would have said it to his face. To be fair, he is the guest. I'm not talking to him. And if he likes wrestling, I will politely call him gay to his face too.
Well, speaking of gay guys, we have the gayest straight man in chat right now.
I know. And Eric's trying to throw shade as the gayest dude that's ever graced your chat.
Sorry, I came out and Mrs. Vicious was cracking up over some wrestling and gay joke.
Well, I was just saying, if you watch wrestling and you're an adult man, you're a homosexual.
I mean,
probably. It's fine.
I honestly, past age 10, I never about the time I started getting hair in other places that I started going. Isn't it? It's kind of weird to watch these greased up like 3/4 naked dudes slam up against each other.
Pretend to fight each other. I mean,
pretend to be. It's like a
pretend
delicate
to fight.
ballet of
Yeah.
aggressive
About
love.
the time I
don't know how
realized
to
Santa
explain
wasn't real and the Easter Bunny wasn't actually leaving a baby bunny in my yard, along with a bunch of plastic Easter eggs filled with money and candy. That's about the time I was like, yeah, this is fucking gay, actually. This is
Yeah, I think there was a certain I remember my brother had a friend into high school who was into it, but I think for the right reasons, is just from a comedy aspect of it. He has 2 kids, yeah, so he's fine. But it was I never really got into it. I could see admiring like the athleticism being able to do a front flip and land your legs on some dude's head, and then he
Sure.
does a flip backwards. Sure, but like
It takes a lot.
enjoying watching it. Like
It takes a lot of acrobatics to be a physically fit gay man. They work really hard. They work really hard to be able to do those front flips onto their boyfriends.
Yeah, I believe it.
And the people that go there and
That's the
swing
reason I
signs
stay in
around-
this kind of shape, right? So like I'm not tempted to do that shit.
Well, and also though that was how Apex explained like blood sports to me. Basically. It's basically
the same thing. Yeah,
I 100% agree.
Look,
I think that's an apt assessment. Yeah,
it is. It's fair.
Yeah,
it is
it's
a fair
basically just
assessment. That's
wrestling
why
on
I
the
can.
internet.
That's why I can throw shade at the homos watching gay men sweatily wrestle each other pretendedly in a squared off ring, because I watch big fat sweaty retards get beat up in Portugal, and lose their $800 purses and shit.
$900. I went and I priced that purse when I was in Vegas. I went down to that Armani because it was in Caesar's Palace. I'm like, I got to know how much. Yeah, she did. I have the business card somewhere for the sales associate I talked to.
No shit.
I was trying to tell her, like, because the only way to see it, you go in there. I mean, they like sell this guy something. And so I was like, no, I'm really interested. You guys have this? Because it was in the window. I'm like, you guys have this?
No.
Oh, we do. We have like 3 left. I'm like, how much is it? I said, yeah, because I had a friend who said it was like $1,500, just so I could seem like I'm a baller and I'm about to buy this fucking purse.
Yeah.
And I mean, I am a baller and I could have bought the fucking purse, but
of course,
why would I? I don't know.
Yeah.
I bought my wife purses that expensive.
Hold on.
She earned them.
They're larger than a shaving case, though, right? Because
Yeah,
that thing looks like
they're made
travel.
Yeah, no, she has a really nice Burberry one that we had a conceal holster like sewed into. But the Burberry shit, I mean, it's a $900 purse and it looks nice, but that fucking $900 purse lasted. First of all, it's like a lifetime warranty, and if she still has it, and I mean, it's in perfect condition, and this was 12 years ago. So I mean, you get what you paid for. She's gone through a bunch of other purses for different reasons, just fall apart, and that one just lasted like forever. Anyway, we're on to a bizarre topic of
no
female purses. Let's get back to men's purses, which is much more normal a topic.
Yeah,
right?
what I wanted to point out was you spent $900 on a purse, and it's
for my wife.
Right. It's big enough for a concealed carry. Yeah. You could fit a gun in there, and Ralph's $900 purse looked like literally like my Norelco one blade case. Like it's I can palm it.
It was overpriced. I mean, in my opinion, but I did confirm it was $900. Yeah.
But what could you hold in that thing?
I don't know.
Wallet,
my car 9mm would probably fit in there. But then how fucking hard would it be to get? It also fits right in my fucking pocket, which is where I need it. So I don't know why I'd switch it over to a zip open fucking holster.
Put it in your purse and then strap it on your back like the fucking piglet that you are. Not you, sorry.
That's okay.
The rage pig. Well, it's either between that or a I don't know which you gentlemen would rather have, a $900 man purse or a $1,500 broken down Beamer, which is what that weirdo Mersh has.
I would be honest. I don't know much about Mersh, so I can't shit on him at present. But if he's friends with certain people, it's usually telling to me.
And he is, and that's pretty much all you need to know about.
Yeah. It's these really simple rules, these litmus tests I've been able to set up that kind of push me in the right direction in this fun little corner of the internet. Yes.
So anyway, though, kind of diving back into the dramas, a user made a snide. Someone in chat made a very snide comment about Faith, and so one of the questions I did want to ask is, are you in? I know that there was obviously some tension between you and Faith, obviously, probably
a little bit
because of the whole thing. And I mean, there have been rumors that some I don't want to go over, but that you're raising Xander, that or that like she didn't want the kid, or that you two don't get along.
Yeah.
So are you two getting along better, or what's the
Faith and I get along fine right now. She I've explained this before, that meds and therapy go a long way when there's issues. But as far as me raising the kid, no, she doesn't live in our house. We don't have the fucking room for an extra kid and a baby. Not the extra. I mean, she was here,
right
before, but I mean,
I get it.
The baby would be an extra kid, and there's just not enough room for that. My mother-in-law, my wife's mother, lives in a nice big house, and she was all alone. Not like sad. I'm trying not to make it sound sadder than it was.
Right,
but
right.
She's 80 something, and she's puttering around. So she has 2 extra bedrooms. So just perfect opportunity, this was it was the plan really before all this happened, is that Faith was going to kind of move out and learn to be on her own. This way she can keep an eye on grandma keeps an eye on her, and it all works out. But no, Faith, that baby lives with Faith and my mother-in-law, 15-minute drive from where we are. So they're not far away, but they're not next door. We've had Oh, hang on. The wife's raising her hand. Yes.
I just wanted to be clear, though. My mother does not raise.
Oh, and yes, Ariana wants to be clear. Her mother, my mother-in-law, does not raise the child either.
And says Faith is a fantastic.
And she gives us updates just to, like I said, they're both watching each other, and so she talks to my wife, and her opinions that Faith's being a fantastic mother. So far, I agree.
That's the impression that I've had. A little bit. I don't know. But God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you.
Oh, no, I just did. So, and I've had enough experience raising kids. I know I fucked one up because I'm a terrible father. That's a fun narrative.
Yeah, that's all your fault.
Yeah, there's no such thing. Where did the term black sheep come from? I have no idea. Anyway.
Oh, my goodness.
I make fun. Yeah, I could make fun of idiots all day long, and I'd enjoy it. But we'd be here all night. No, Faith, she's the one who's raising that baby 99 points. She's never once asked us to babysit. We've offered, multiple times, because sometimes people need a break, and babies, they sleep in fucking shifts, and sometimes it seems like they have boundless energy and just want to, especially, he crawled out of his crib for the first time, so she's in for a fucking treat for the rest of her life.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, once they can escape that cage, crib. Once they can escape the crib, it's it's just on from there. It's like you're never stopping saving somebody's life, because they're always trying to fucking kill themselves.
My mother still tells. I'm sorry. What was Mrs. Vickers saying?
I said even by going to Virginia, they're trying to kill them.
Even by going to Virginia and the dead of night when they're 18, they're trying to fucking kill themselves.
I was just gonna say my mother to this day, and I say to this day, I haven't talked to her in a while, but the last time she met one of my girlfriends, she likes to tell this story. When I was still in diapers and in my car seat, I managed to get out and climb on top of the T-top of the Thunderbird she was driving. And when she ran up into the apartment, like the upstairs apartment, ran in, grabbed whatever, and ran back out. And I was sitting. Now, I don't believe that she was in there for 30 seconds like she describes, but I had enough time to dismantle my harness, climb the fuck up onto the T-top, and sit there in my little diaper, and give her a heart attack.
once they can get out of their fucking car seat, it's done.
It's over with,
You
dude.
you age exponentially when they can do that. Because how the fuck do you drive when you're constantly like, are you still in your fucking seat? Oh,
Yeah.
what? Oh, and Faith was the worst at that. Ironically, just like as soon fuck, this is easy now. She figured out I'm just gonna crawl around on the floor and look for shit to eat.
Just don't climb behind the brake pedal.
Oh man, yeah, no. Well, that's I think there was more than one occasion. You know, you're driving, you don't realize they've strapped out, and you have to slam on the brakes, and it's baby comes flying fucking up. Not like a dangerous speed.
No.
Right.
I get it,
dude. Oh
baby
man,
hits the back of the seat. Hits the back of the front seat. You know,
first kid, you're panicky with everything. You're like, are you gonna live? And like by the fifth kid, what was it? Our 7-year-old yesterday, we were over to see some family, actually over at my mother-in-law's house to see some of my wife's extended family, who the amount of kids they have makes us seem like we're just getting started. I mean, they have lots of kids. But my 7-year-old was he was playing outside, he's playing inside, he's playing outside, he's playing inside. And he just he wanted to get the hell out of the house. He started running outside and didn't realize the sliding glass door was closed and just slam. And I'm sorry, by kid 5, you're like, that was fucking hilarious. Like, you didn't pass out, nothing's broken, there's no blood. That was fucking funny. There's no way that anybody could have watched that and not laughed. I'm like, didn't you see the other kid that looked just like you coming right at you as you were running towards that door? Was there no reflection? He's like, nah, he's rubbing his nose. Nah, that was pretty stupid. I'm like, yeah, at least you're reflective.
That's awesome.
Yeah, kids, man, they're trouble. So
yeah, Sammy, you're a kid. You're trouble. You're a pain in my neck, I tell you.
Oh, I'm 27, but I am.
You're a whippersnapper. Every 27-year-old likes a 45-year-old to call him a whippersnapper. You're just a boy.
And a 35-year-old to call them their son.
Yeah, it all makes sense.
It totally makes sense. I can't resist asking, how does it feel to be a grandpa at 45?
Probably awesome.
Yeah, you know, I've said it 1,000 times. Kids keep you young, right? For me, I think they keep me. Shit, I'm not going to call myself thin because that's just a fucking lie. But like my max weight was when just right before Faith was born. I think I topped out at 285. Like that's the heaviest I've ever been. I'm 235 now, and I don't do anything. I mean, I admit I can't pack away the food like I used to, and I think it just has to do with my age. But every kid, I consecutively go down an average of like 10 to 15 pounds because it's just that much more shit I have to do.
Yeah.
So, you know,
hold on.
I'm not.
Mr.
Sure.
Vickers, are you taller than 5'3"?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I'm not 6'4" or anything, but
canonically.
I'm dead on 5'10". So I'm not the tallest guy on the earth, but I'm not the shortest.
That's all right. Do I look 5'3" to you, motherfucker?
Was it 5'1"?
Oh, 5'1", yeah. Do I look 5'1"? Damn it, I'm sorry. I totally fucked it up. Sorry, Chad.
God, it's just one of the greatest things that's ever happened.
Listen, I'm 5'3" and I'm crippled, but even I'm taller.
Sammy's 5'3", sitting down.
Than he is.
It's funny, is my dad was 5'3", 5'3", but you know what? Fucking Wolverine was 5'3", canonically in the comic books.
Yeah,
right? It's important to know.
Yeah.
Little man syndrome, but he shreds some shit up.
Indeed.
Yeah. Sammy doesn't have an adamantium skeleton, Mr. Vickers. You may not know this, but he has an ancient. Well, hold on. You're a fan of Assassin's Creed, so this might ring true to you.
I've never played Assassin's Creed. I just bought those coins. Yeah, I thought it was a fun gamer coin crossover. That's not. I started one of the Assassin's Creeds, but I didn't.
Well, hold on. You understand the idea, right?
Yes.
Like it's an Assassins through time, right?
Yeah.
Sammy inherited a chair from an ancient line of warrior / I can't say it. Canonically, it's rape. It's a rape chair. It's it's got the wheel blades like the Roman chariots that come out to dismember his enemies to bring them down to his level, and then also more recently in the history, there's been hydraulics added and things like that to make him capable of rape.
Okay.
Of his enemies, not of
What?
the helpless or defenseless.
Why do you rape your allies?
Yeah, no. Of course
You
his
do?
enemies. Sometimes. Look, why do you think I'm here?
That's how they become.
I am not here by choice.
That's fair enough. All right. Oh shit.
So anyway, Sam rides a rape chair, and that's the lore. That's all I was getting at.
Not,
Cool.
I mean, it's not even completely in a sexual way. It's just more like in a warlike way.
It's power. It's not about sex. It's about power. All right.
Listen here. We're talking about rape, not in a sexual way. Oh man!
Literally just laughed my headphones off my head. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, we've kept Mr. Vickers for almost 90 minutes. I'm down to keep doing this because I don't have to work ass early in the morning like I normally do. But
Sunday's my one day off, gentlemen. You keep with what you want to keep, or tell me to get the fuck off. Yeah,
no,
whatever
nobody's
you want.
taking you off. That's for sure.
No, if you're good to go, we're we can keep going.
Let me check with my
too,
boss.
so.
We need Sammy. You need to pull up the topics there, bub.
She's trying to get me to bribe her.
Oh, a bribe.
I got silver. No, she says it's fine.
Do I need to send Sammy across?
I wouldn't recommend it.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
She's a better shot than I am.
No. Well, I mean, the chair is bulletproof to a certain extent too. So
you ever seen that Pope mobile? It has one of those things, the bubbles. The thing that JFK turned down.
Yeah. I bet he really regretted that.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, so no, I'm good. You guys got more questions? Ask away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't. I actually don't have any off the top of my head, but Sammy, you go right on.
I just one of the ridiculous ones that I just found it funny is one person wanted to know, and I quote, Sammy, can you ask Mr. Vickers if he's met Daddy Jim, and if so, what does he think of Daddy Jim?
We'll skip the have you met Daddy Jim. What do you think of Mr. Mediker?
Yeah.
So given the time frame, like I came into all this, I didn't have a ton of exposure to him other than like reading stuff about him.
Sure.
But there's this one debate that he has that like I don't think anybody's seen, where he is talking with this other guy in sunglasses and just tears the fuck into him for like an hour and 45 minutes. You guys catching on what I'm talking about?
Was it on the that Boulder Boy channel?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it's some guy named Jarbo. It was on his stream.
Yeah,
I have a hard time remembering it because there's no way that I watched that 17 times. So that was my first exposure. It's like I want to say, man, that guy is Mediker. That is, he's quick and he's funny, and but
that's literally your first exposure to him.
That was my first like long term exposure.
Okay,
I knew who he was, but hadn't watched his streams or anything else. And I'm sure that he is quick witted and he is naturally funny and all that kind of stuff. Because that's kind of what I read about him.
I'm sensing the bug.
But I think it was an easy target.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, honestly, towards the end of that whole beautiful creation, I think he was being really nice in a mean way.
He was,
but
he
it was
absolutely was.
like the advice that he was giving was solid, actual nice advice that you can only give to somebody by saying, "What are you fucking doing?" But otherwise, it's from a debate standpoint. It's like there wasn't much of a challenge set before you.
Well, see,
but I did enjoy some of the jabs after it got past the like 4th grade yelling suey, which was funny. I enjoyed it. But as far as like clever, smart, but I mean, I think he knew what he was doing and like breaking it down to where he could get to the point.
I find this fascinating,
I don't know well enough,
Mr. Vickers, because like I mentioned a little bit ago, I followed the whole Faith story and therefore the Mr. and Mrs. Vickers story and the whole timeline because this whole internet drama shit has been a sort of Jerry Springer for me for a long time, and I'm not that engaged in it. I don't have a Kiwi Farms account. I don't make videos about it. I watch a few and it's entertaining. You know, it's just something to watch. But Mr. Medicare, the debate, quote unquote, that you're referring to is a culmination of years. And Mr. Medicare tried so hard. He was a guest, and I'm sure you've heard all this, but he was a guest on the Kill Stream many times.
Yeah, like the history and the lore I'm pretty familiar with. It's just his specific act, I guess, for lack of a better word. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of exposure to.
Well, what you saw, what you're talking about, is the first time that's ever happened. The whole Ethan versus Mr. Medicare thing, right? You know, but it's been built up to after years where like they've both, you know, played I'm not his friend, you know, he just comes on sometimes, and they've readily, very actually quite successfully steered away from directly talking about each other, but Ethan has made it irresistible, especially starting with the Portugal thing, you know. But I fell into this whole thing because of the Matt Jarbo the initial Boulder stream on the Kill Stream when Kill Stream was still on YouTube, where Mr. Medicare told Matt Jarbo to say, "I'm a little bitch," and I flagged down whatever it was. It was a big meme. Matt embraced that and has continued to do his thing. Right. Where Ralph has driven, you know, that's been his whole thing. That's literally the pinnacle of his career. Right. Was the Jarbo thing. Right. And Mr. Medicare being I want to say he indiscriminately laughs at the fucking internet, which is right. People have been hounding him to laugh at Ralph for years, and he wouldn't do it because reasons nobody knows. And again, it is this culmination of events over literally probably 5 years, 6 years since the boop boop hashtag boopgate, Gamergate. I guess I'm not gonna beep it, you know. But the dude is dying. So, and he's funny, and I don't have I have no qualms with him specifically, other than his COVID calls. Right. Yeah, I don't know. He's one of the more entertaining, you know, consistently entertaining voices on this here side of the internet, I should say.
Yeah.
But I had a question, because not knowing as much about him, like, was his influence specifically on the COVID thing? Was his influence on the COVID thing vast and far-reaching? Because I found that I found that focus on the other party like really hilarious. Like I know he's a big guy like in this arena, but again, like I'm gonna talk to anybody in my world, for lack of a better term, and they're not gonna know who he is.
Look, during his COVID streams, which I watched them, and I loved Mr. Medicare. I had him on, one of the handful of people I had on fucking, you know, the bell rung on YouTube. He was doing his weather forecast, whatever. I vehemently disagreed, but he had 20,000 people, right, at most, watching those videos. I've never seen any one of his videos get more than 1 million views. Right. How many people is that motherfucker influencing? How many how many of those people are watching it more than once?
That's why I found that. I found that precious. That and the change in name your daddy gave you.
Why wouldn't I move to a state that let me keep that secret, Ethan? You fucking retard.
They're just like, because his kid doesn't even have his last name.
I
I'm sorry, but it's like that particular part. He didn't go there. Medicare didn't go there, and I thought that was like a really easy target. So he was being super nice. Like,
exactly.
As
no, and he was as respectful as you could be. He was doing the whole suey piggy thing, He was hitting all the topical shit. And
right. Well, that's just fourth grade bands, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Anybody who gets upset at that that's just silliness. Oh, anyway. Those two arguments cracked me up because it's like that's what you got coming out.
Well,
all right. Well, go ahead, Sammy.
So what? I was going to say, in addition to Medicare, if you don't know anything about Mersh, there's a 5-hour video of this documentarian Porcelain interviewing.
Is it done? Is it out?
No, the Mersh documentary is not out, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The documentary isn't out yet, but there's a 5-hour. I don't even want to call it a stream because
it's an interview.
Yeah, it's an interview of Porcelain basically showing Jim all of Mersh's.
Oh shit!
It's really funny, dude.
It's
really funny.
You guys send me the link, would you?
Absolutely.
Cool.
But
that's the kind of stuff like when the missus and I settle down and after we
it's so funny
after we use the chloroform on the kids and chain them to the fucking wall because that's the kind of cool ass parents we are.
Yeah, and light the fire around them so they can't escape.
Yeah, right. And they stay warm. Come on.
Yeah, of course. That's the whole point.
Yeah, after we get that, traditional family shit done, that's when we like to turn that kind of stuff on, like for background noise and watch it.
It's good stuff because you will have to watch a little bit, but it's basically Porcelain who's it's like if you were a professional some sort of you worked in like the news industry, for editing videos for topics or whatever. You knew how that shit worked, you knew how editing worked and whatever. You were showing someone with your skill Ethan Ralph that had never heard of him, and you put it into consumable chunks into a 2-hour 3-hour documentary. He's done this with probably a dozen people. Porcelain,
right,
who I'm not certain isn't a fucking editor for some major news corporation the way he does his goddamn work because it's so good. But it's this whole 5-hour interview with Mr. Medicare. Medicare does not know much about Mersh. Mersh thinks Medicare's cancer is fake, and Mr. Medicare has played those clips a few times recently on his streams. But other than that, Mersh, they're both M's, goddammit, and I have had 3 beers. That's too many. Mush mouth in it. Mr. Medicare does not know much about Mersh beyond that. So this 5 hours, Porcelain shows Mr. Medicare all of the lore, the whole setting up the I'm going to kill myself PayPals or GoFundMes and the help me buy a car. Oh, shit, I wrecked my car. Help me buy another car. PayPals. And, Mr. Medicare, even though he's dying of fucking cancer AIDS, he's still got one of the most wholesome laughs on the internet. And there's a lot of that going on in that 5 hours. So it's definitely worth it.
I'll check it out. Before or after Dune. I gotta read my fucking checklist here.
No, Dune first, my friend.
Okay.
That's
Dune.
that's
priorities.
It's it's just not as long as Dune, though. I'll say.
No, fuck that. Dune is half as long.
Yeah,
but I do want to ask. There seems to be some shady details around the most recent Ralph a Demon Baby, I dare call it. But how do you feel about Ralph, the father of your grandchild, streaming for 11 hours after his new baby mama went into her water broke. She did not go into labor, according to him.
Yeah, so that's difficult to address without like violating my agreement with the court to not be insulting. And I'm not going to do that.
Definitely don't want to do that.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you the way shit worked with me, because as badass alpha male and shit as somebody thinks cranking 2 babies in, by those standards, I beat you by 250%. So if my every time, okay, so first of all, every one of my 5, right? I was there when the water broke, and I was there from that time at the hospital until the baby came out. And that included my 3rd one, which was 36 hours.
Holy shit.
He was 30 hours.
30 hours. Okay, I was 6 hours. It seemed like 36 hours. 30 hours. And it wasn't like the 5th one was like 20 something hours, but she was asleep most of the time, so it didn't count. The middle one was 30 hours of fucking fighting. It was scary. Every time she had a contraction, his heart rate dropped off because the cord was wrapped around his. Ironically, he's like the smartest one of the 5. But I'm just going.
No, get into it,
consistently with the doctor. I'm like, you sure you don't want to do a C-section, man, and just get that kid out of there? And then he proceeds to explain like how the vaginal canal is like the mouth of a Pac-Man frog, and shit only goes one way; it doesn't go the other way. And I'm like, okay. I thought it was a good analogy, and I told him so later. He was a funny guy. He delivered 4 out of 5. Nope, 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 of our kids. Great guy, but he retired after number 4. But
nice.
It just went on and on and on. And I mean, they had to use they tried the vacuum to help. It's like a plunger for a baby head. They went to the forceps, which looked like 2 big hollow salad tongs. Made of metal that when you look at them and you're like, where are those going again? And, Jesus Christ, man. No, I know it's not going to me, but it's just like, I feel so sorry for.
Yeah, empathy is a real thing. Come on.
And then fucking those come out and then the plunger back in, and just on and on and on. And I mean, by the end of it, mother and child looked like they had been in a fight with Tyson. I mean, they're bruised, they're exhausted. I mean, but I was there, through all of it. I was in the room. I've been at ground zero of 5 childbirths, and it's not for the people who are like, it's a beautiful thing. It's a new life. Afterwards, sure, you can say it's good. There's nothing beautiful about the experience, man. It stinks.
It's horrifying.
It's messy.
Yeah,
but you gotta put your fucking time in, because I guarantee it's worse for the lady. So I can't fathom, even in like 3rd trimester comes along, you wouldn't have caught me dead being in a different state, because that's when shit can go wrong. That's when shit can happen. And certainly within the last month, I mean, she had more than her fair share of, going in daily just for, just to make sure everything's okay. So I can't fathom it. I can't fathom bragging that if I hadn't gone when the water broke, that I'd be like, hold on, let me get this done, and I'll be there straight away. How far are you by car? I don't know, like 8 hours. I'll get there. Don't worry. I can't fathom. And then I'm lucky enough to make it there on time, and then like using that as a brag. I think when the water breaks, you drop whatever the fuck you're doing, and you go by your woman's side, and anything less of that is beta male fucking shit from probably somebody, people. I'm not gonna make the claim of anybody specific, right? But it seems to me that you're probably just afraid of what's coming, and you're afraid of the experience, or you don't want to handle being in a hospital or whatever shit that is. I've never heard of a hospital kicking the dad out at a certain time during the day. My wife's over there like, I've never heard of that anyway. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'd rather go.
Oh, wait, hold on. She has heard of it. Hold on.
It's always because he created such a scene.
Oh, okay. So she says it. She has heard of it. It's happened before. I thought my Mrs. Vickers worked at a hospital for 5 years in emergency room registration, so she's seen her fair share of shit. But it was usually removal if the person, the other party, was creating a scene. Again, can't confirm or deny, but she did work at a hospital for 5 years. So
punching nurses and shit.
Well,
No, look, hold on, time out. I'm sorry, Sammy, because like the devil's advocate part of my brain wants to be like, sure, there's like jobs where like you can't, like you gotta be there, and if the water breaks, like what if you're on an
But
oil
are there?
rig?
Yeah, but are they?
What
Okay,
if-
so yeah, if
Yeah,
that's
what if
a
you're
good
on
one.
an oil?
Hey, if you're on a fucking oil rig,
That's
you're
my
gonna have a
point.
hard time getting there.
The only thing I've narrowed it down to is if you're like a soldier or on
Yeah.
an oil rig or a
C-Lab,
fucking pilot.
right? If you're in
And even if
C-Lab,
you're a
it's gonna be
pilot,
hard.
yeah, even if you're a pilot, you have vacation time that you can
Right.
take. And if your
Well, it's
wife
just-
has
yeah,
been pregnant for 9 months, you can plan that out pretty well. That something's going to happen around this
What-
point anyway.
And I mean, I've worked for some stubborn companies, like I said, who don't, they say family first, and not
Mhm.
one of them ever, to the shittiest one, would have said, finish your shift. I don't care about broken water. I don't care about
Your
impending
wife's water
labor.
broke. I'm sorry, you got
Yeah.
3 hours
They're
left,
like, no,
motherfucker.
yeah. What do you expect us to do, man? Punch that clock. You can't do it early. God damn it. No, but none of them would do. I've never.
No,
I mean, fucking
no.
gas station attendees wouldn't get that kind of shit.
And they certainly
so-
wouldn't demand an 11-hour shift from you.
No, and it's the whole, and that's for me. Again, it goes back to the whole reason somebody's self-employed is so that they would have the freedom to do something like that anyway, without having to worry about backlash from an employer. And so that's just, I think any other explanation that goes away from anything separate of, especially if you're self-employed, water broke, I'm out. That's where I need to be. That's the show that needs to be focused on, is so phenomenally infantile a state of mind that I cannot fathom it. And I had our first kid came when I was 24, and I felt the same then as I feel now. It hasn't changed.
And
that's
and
that stands to reason. Go ahead, Sammy.
And that first kid, I'm assuming that is Faith you're talking.
That is
about,
Faith.
right?
She is the oldest. Yes.
So,
little troublemaker.
I know,
yeah,
man. That's how you learn. That's how you learn. Like
having
I got like motion sensors and minefields outside the front fucking doors, and nobody's getting out.
Having a
if they get past the chains and the fucking fire, they got the minefield to deal with.
Yeah. And
yeah,
the auto turrets.
And having a girl at 24, but speaking of babies, though, I love how everything is kind of segueing together. So apparently Dave Rubin, it's he and his husband are, I don't know how familiar you are with Dave Rubin.
I remember reading it in the notes you sent me. I'm not
oh my god
familiar, I think, with that, but hit
That's
me with
good.
it, man. Yeah, give me
That's
the,
good.
give
Yeah,
me the
go ahead,
paraphrase.
So Dave Rubin is kind of like, he was one of these early kind of conservative internet personalities, and
never mind. Ariana apparently knows who he is. So.
He's also.
Let me. I'm sorry to cut you off here, Sammy, but let me.
No.
I'm going to paraphrase
free.
just a little bit here. Dave Rubin was a young Turk reporter until he got red pilled by Larry Elder on what was it, White Privilege, I believe.
Yeah.
On one of his Dave Rubin shows.
Okay.
He's a gay man. He's a out gay man, out gay conservative. And him and his husband have just taken on 2 surrogate mothers and inseminated them, rented their wombs to have children. And
right.
it's kind of lit the internet on fire. In a sense, I guess you could say.
Oh, okay. She knows what's going on.
She knows what's going on.
She memorizes and knows everything.
Of course she knows.
I'm always behind. I'm always behind on this shit.
Well, I mean, and I guess the outrage lies in that Dave Rubin is a big proponent of the anti-leftist, anti-woke, anti-gay. He's basically the anti-gay agenda, and all. it's I don't even really know how to frame it, because there's millions of children that need adopted, and instead these rich white people rent these women's wombs to have their own children, to then be deprived of their mothers and be raised by these fucking gay dudes. Sorry, I'm not trying to be bigoted, but it's just the fact. They're just be parented by dudes deprived of their mothers from the time they're born. I don't think that's cool, personally.
I'm with you definitely on the first part, which is, and this is gonna sound fucked up beyond fucked up. So bear with me.
I tried to make my point sound as little fucked up as possible. I don't think there's any way to not make it sound fucked up. So,
I'm dead on with the adoption thing, right? It's like if nature is preventing it, we're gonna go. We can go.
No, dude, you're right on money. Go ahead.
Nature versus choice. If nature's preventing you from siring a child in the natural way, and then there's all these orphans. Well, I mean, I don't think there's like a flood of fucking orphans, but they're there. They're available, right? There's kids and parents, and what? Yeah, that seems like a much more noble cause to me. And I think it's the same. My wife and I talk all the time about like pets and purebreds and stuff like that. When there's all these, I'm not comparing a human baby to a fucking pet. Just so we're clear. This is the part I said was going to sound fucked up.
You can analogously.
But as far as the responsibility to like living creatures is like, you're going to go get a purebred Dalmatian, which is going to be mostly retarded. And again, I'm not comparing the two, but because it's the suave, cool new thing to do when we're knocking down animals in shelters left and right. Now, again, it's an animal shelter, and shit has to be done that has to be done, and there's not enough funds to take care of them. But why are you gonna go buy a pet when you could adopt one? That's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. And it's as far as, and it's much worse if you're talking about people, obviously, because people are
no. I mean,
animals.
It's like no. It's like it's more like you and your best friend's dog, who are not the same breed, or maybe they are, or a similar breed, that aren't attracted to each other, taking their egg and their semen, a male and a female dog, and forcing them together to make a dog of you and your friend's dog, because you want that to be a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the dog analogy.
Knowing what I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to speak with authority because I'm not 100% sure of the thing, and
sure.
I have, I'm not going to. I'm not pro or anti-gay.
No.
I just don't. I don't want anybody. No. I'm when it comes to that kind of stuff, I'm full on libertarian. I'm like, just do what you want,
as long as you don't hurt other people. That's my
exactly.
point.
But yeah, no, I think it's irresponsible to existing human beings with needs if you're put in the unique position in this case where you have found a partner, and if you're lucky enough to have that partner, and even if you're the same sex, that you're together, but in this particular case you can't create a child together, go save one of the ones who has been fucked over by chance.
Exactly.
Right. And instead, let's put our...
Oh shit, hold on, Mrs. Vicious is raising her hand.
I think it's worse in this case because he has espoused a completely different view up until it was something he wanted.
Okay, got it.
That's right.
Okay, so you guys can hear her. That's good. So I don't have to repeat her because I'll fuck it up if I try to repeat what she said.
No, she's right on the nose, dude.
And that was going to be my exact point. Is like, as far as like gay conservatives go, like I'm all for that. And,
why the fuck not, dude? I don't give a fuck who you fuck. Come on.
But also, like for me personally, and I think this is kind of what Apex and I are both getting at, is for me it's weird because Ruben was kind of pushing, if you're gay, you should adopt. There are lots of kids out there that need homes, and then for him to go and do this, it's kind of like, okay, what? What are you doing here, dude?
Rules for thee and not for me.
It's actually more like he never changed. It's more like he's exactly the same hardcore, racist, fucking degenerate leftist he always was. And he's pretended all this time. And some dude came into his life and was like, I want kids. Let's do this thing. He was like, well, I'm a coward anyway. So you're telling me what to do. Let's do what you say, because he's a sissy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not even gay, and that was our position, was if I couldn't get pregnant naturally because of my endometriosis.
Yeah, Mrs. Vickers makes the point. She says, her and I obviously aren't.
Vickers.
Yeah, we're not gay, but that was our position. If we couldn't conceive, we would have adopted. We still might, and just like throw a couple of our kids out because they're not working out.
Yeah, because fuck those. Fuck those kids.
I mean, they had their shot. You get them to 13, 17.
Yeah,
you guys haven't figured it out by now.
Look, when you bring an amorphous, gelatinous fucking never mind. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna continue with that joke. I'm gonna stop right there. You guys
it was the Thanksgiving dinner that never happened. It was the awkward Thanksgiving dinner that never was.
All right. Well, Sammy, I really don't want to make this drag out too awkwardly long. I don't have anything else personally to say, unless something else interesting comes up in the next couple of moments.
I was going to ask a few more things.
Go ahead.
What do you think? What do you think about Funko Pops? Obviously, that was
all right. So I'm sitting here. My wife's gonna crack up.
I can hear her. I can hear her cracking up.
I fucking hate Funko Pops. Okay, let's be clear. I know I don't even know if they're still in the shot. There was the one. So I had one, and I think a shot of one of the videos I did, which was a Red Hood versus Deathstroke, and I opened that one up because Faith's boyfriend gave it to me for like Christmas or my birthday. One of the two. I'm like, oh, this is nice because he put some thought into it. He didn't know, right? He didn't know I fucking hate Funko Pops.
Oh, no.
Because I just fucking hate them. But as a result of me hating them, I get so fucking many of them from Mrs. Vickers and from my fucking kids because I hate them. Like, they gift these things to me just to see the look on my face as I go, God damn
that's
it.
True. That is true
Funko
love,
Pop.
Mr. Vickers.
Yeah,
that is true love.
I mean, there's at least 10 stacked up over here that are like still in the box, and they try to like, well, we should at least get one like from something he likes. So like, there's a couple Rick and Morty, and some of them are clever. Like, there's a Rick and Morty Kirkland Meeseeks, which I thought was funny.
The red Meeseeks. I was literally just watching that episode before we started this show.
So my wife was very specific with that one, some other Rick and Morty's, but then some of the other ones are just
what the fuck do you want,
you guys? No, it's every Christmas. It's like, where the fuck am I gonna put all these fucking Funko Pops? You guys know I don't like, but it's okay because it's good for a laugh. All of them laugh, and I go, another fucking Funko Pop. I gotta find
Mr. Vickers. You know what you should do? You should try your you
the
should
Funko
try your
Pops,
best.
not the family. Shit.
No,
sorry.
No, I assumed Funko Pops, but now that you said family, now I can't help but think that. No,
I am the most dangerous.
You should
man
remove
in some people's lives.
You should remove all of those books behind, above and behind your left shoulder, and make all those Funko Pops in the gayest. Yeah, your left.
Oh,
yeah,
you guys don't even know. I already got shit like that in the plans. You know, I love the Spurgs and the autists who overanalyze everything.
Sir.
I have so much fucking shit, stupid toys and stuff. I'm gonna just change like one or two things up just to keep the weirdos like, what's he fucking changed? Oh, he knew we didn't. And I know. There's already gonna be one who looks. There's already going to be one who's like, oh, he read we didn't like that Funko Pop, so he moved it. I don't give a shit. I just did it to fuck with you. So now I've said it on record. Keep doing the Easter egg hunt because it pleases me. Now let's see if they actually
what's funny
doing it.
Is very few people, unfortunately, not enough people watch Sammy's streams. So this little gem will be hidden.
That. And I hope it is, but even if it's not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Hold on 1 second, because the wife, what?
Just remember, our 7-year-old son uses that seat for Zoom meetings for schools.
Oh shit! Oh no!
Oh, I'm not gonna put anything obscene in the back. Plus, I give
Well,
him.
hold
I give
on,
him
no.
like. I give him a cool fucking like Star Wars Millennium Falcon background or something.
No, I was legit. No, hold on. I was legit just suggesting that you put your Funko Pops in homosexually suggestive positions.
Oh, she heard you
book.
obviously then before I did.
She heard me.
They'd probably have to be. I
you.
don't think I have any female character ones.
It doesn't.
So
No, I said
probably
I said
the only way that it's
homosexual.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so it'd have to be. It would have to be. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Now I gotta. God, I wonder if I can. I'm just anyway, but that's just the kind of stuff that I like to do. So because I like to. No, I like to see if I can control a narrative, right? And then like I'll DM Gator or my wife or something. So there's a record of it for the one day that I don't care to ever do it, just so I can say, see, they said exactly what I said they'd say.
God damn it. I'm envious of you, dude. You're living the dream right now.
Predictability is fun. It's fun to have hobbies. It's fun to have hobbies.
Well, look, it's fun to, put the pedal to the floor on things that engage you, which is what you're doing. You know what I mean? You're like, fuck it. You all want to fucking look at me? Here we go. Fucking slam.
No, it's pretty much what I've said from day one. And because I knew, you don't think that I knew that as soon as I said, oh, I'm gonna do a stream after I talked to Gator, that I wouldn't have seen all of the I told you he was a clout chasing attention whore. Of fucking course I knew people were gonna say that, but I don't care.
Well,
if it's fun. If it's not fun, I'm not gonna do it. Right. But so far it's kind of fun. So why wouldn't I?
Look, this has been one of the most fun. No, it's not, because I've been way more drunk than this, and I've had a lot of fun on Sam's streams before. But this is one of the most fun, relatively sober streams I think I've had on Sam's stream, and I've been his co-host for almost a decade.
3 years almost, but
or a decade. It's close. I'm kidding.
Well,
he's in Florida. I'm in Indiana.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I'm in Florida where a lot of these crazy streamer people reside.
Sammy does have my personal phone number though. He can call me whenever he wants, and he has.
Yeah.
And we've he's my friend.
Yeah.
I'd drop kick him in the face just to steal that wheelchair from him if I ever met him in person.
I don't think you'd get very far before the
I wouldn't. Look, I know the modifications on that thing. I've studied it for decades. That's how I met you, Sam.
Before the self-destruct feature.
No. You've got look. You can pretend you got self-destructs on that bitch. There's no self-destruct. You've got arms that reach 15 feet beyond where your feet go. And I know you'll grab me like a little crab.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that's true. So
yeah. Well, look, I know it's true. That's why I said it, Sam. All right. That's why I don't come anywhere near you. I'm halfway across the country.
I'm the other half across.
And even then, you're not safe. Well, you know what? That might actually be the reason why Ralph blocked me, because he thinks that'll keep him safe from my tentacles.
Look, I called him a fat faggot like 2 years ago, and he blocked me immediately. And you've been following me ever since then. So
he
doesn't know my Based Hobbs account, and he has not blocked that one though.
Well, I did donate to his baby mama. So
he did.
Well, good.
That
now
good.
one of multiple people to have given more money
than the father of the child. That's right.
And
by the way, listeners, please donate to Sam, because I can't keep funding this kid. I cannot afford all the hydraulic oil and other things that are required for this chair. So please, paypal.me/the Whitfield Report, I think.
Yep, streamobs.com/Whitfield Report as well.
Damn, dude, I've got that shit memorized.
Yeah, you've only been here what 3? Well, Well, you've been here ever since I've gotten PayPal, though. So,
well, hold on. We're not going to talk about that. Look,
that's
if you want Sammy's chair to have hydraulic fuel for the trip across the country to steal my soul, please
what
donate
you what
to the Whitfield Report.
what you mean? Plot twist. I already have your soul.
Bow, bow, bow. Yeah.
And
Where do you keep it? Which book behind you is it kept
it's
in?
It's the middle plate above the door. I recognize those types.
You-
I recognize
yeah.
the
Mr.
soul
Vickers
plates.
knew exactly where that was going.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
That's where I would have hit it. So he's yeah.
The middle
No,
plate
he's-
above the door.
Sam's doing fine.
It's
Yeah.
mostly dark. Yeah, I'm black where it counts. Jesus Christ, what are we doing, man?
I was also going to just ask. So right as we were getting ready to arrange this stream, World War III almost broke out, Mr. Vickers. So I wasn't sure if this stream was even going to happen before World War III broke out. So what do you mean?
Oh, she's over there nodding. What I miss, I'm stuffing spicy chicken sandwiches on my face on the way home and not listening to the radio. I could have missed it.
Well,
Catch me up, everybody.
What do you think, Mr. Vickers?
Support
Ukraine, support Russia. Say fuck both of them. As
I don't take a strong stance on either. Here's what I know. I don't like Putin. I think a lot of people are maybe excusing Putin because they don't like the fact that like now Pelosi and those fucking idiots are jumping on the bandwagon of I don't like seeing innocent people bombed. I don't think all of the shit that's coming out of there is propaganda, but I know some of it is.
Absolutely.
I know that nobody's marching into Russia. I know that Russian children are going to suffer from sanctions, but nobody's marching in there. Somebody marched somewhere else. But I think you want to hear my most fucked up take on Russia, Ukraine.
Sure. Let's have it.
It's good for my business. That's the most fucked up take on the Russia Ukraine situation. I can go. World War III makes me a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm not conflicted. I would rather not have World War III. But economic disasters, my business does good when other businesses do bad.
Look, man, no disaster goes without.
Yeah, and I don't want it to happen. I just wanted to give you a fucked up take because
that's good. That's
and it's honest.
That's honest. So, no, that's legit. I like that. That's very good.
Yeah, no, I did.
That shit's gonna get clipped, and people are gonna say some bad shit about me.
Believe me. My most controversial take, believe it or not, was a few years ago. This was even before Apex joined. Was
oh boy
that Louis C.K. did nothing wrong.
Oh, we're hold on, Sammy.
I still get flack for it though.
Well, he most certainly did something wrong, but I think we were talking about Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Did Louis C.K. call his dick Russia or Ukraine?
Yeah, right. Louis C.K. called his dick Russia.
I don't know.
That bitch's pussy Ukraine. Get Ukraine over here, bitch. I'm about to Russian on that ass.
Apex saw where I was going with it and took it and ran with it. You got the ball and you ran with it.
I'm sorry. I'm a bit monster.
Not well. I lost the joke there.
You did. I'm sorry. I fucking just put my heel right into it. I'm sorry about that.
I was gonna make a monster joke and then I lost it.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, look, Sammy, I'm sorry, but you're crippled and I'm able-bodied, and I cannot help but talk down to you.
I'm fat, so I'm a mix between the two.
Yeah, see, it's a perfect combination.
Every time I see a fucking cake, I am crippled, and I got to eat that.
And I tend to put I tend to put my foot into the wheelchair of the crippled that's, obsessing over the cake. The fat kid. Hold on. I'm skinny. Damn it.
So
Yeah,
what?
yeah, right in between. See, that's the thing. I'm the perfect mix. I kind of intentionally put
you're
myself in a
standing
chair
on 2
because
feet.
I intentionally put my fat ass in a chair so I don't have to get up. It's not at all the same, but it's a fine blend of the two.
No, see, because if you were in a wheelchair and you
My
were
chair has
fat,
wheels, they're just really small, and I got to scoot around with my feet.
computer chair.
Yeah.
Well, I do like the fact that your chair is not one of these gay ass race car chairs that all these streamers.
He doesn't even know. I set up a little tiny baby fucking steering wheel right here, and I scoot around that. Yeah, I scoot around the house and I go vroom vroom. Look at me go, because I'm a fucking retard. Haven't you read? Jesus.
I actually
she liked that one for some reason. Anytime he self-deprecates as fat or a retard, I laugh loud.
to be
Oh shit! Now that's the direction I gotta go for every stream. Matt likes to drive car.
No, I'm just I'm just an ableist, racist piece of shit. All right, I just laugh at fat people and crippled people and black people and indigenous people, white people too. I'm not that exclusive. I just laugh at everything that's funny.
Why we're on fat, I'll never understand. Like the modern adult male who gets butthurt about fat jokes. I'll never get it. I've never made them again. Not never. I've made quite a few against certain people during certain times. But the prime victim of, I love a good fat joke. I fucking love a good fat joke. And I've been blessed to have been overweight and fat for a good portion of my adult life, if not all of it. Yeah, fucking all
and
of it.
Still
Let's
healthy,
just be honest, all of it. And so the self-deprecating fat jokes are the best ones, and they're the best ones to break the ice. And so you're fat, you're fucking fat. So what? I'll never understand. Anyway, that was just a little funny side topic that I'll never get about some of the people that are reading out there are like, let's tell Vickers he's fat because he's fucking obese. That'll piss him off.
Yeah,
No, just the only thing that'll piss me off if it's not clever. If it's a clever fat joke, you're my new best fucking friend. I love you. Just give me something to work with.
I feel the same way about cripple jokes, honestly. Like if they're funny, I'll laugh. But if they're
dumb, it's just like, what else you got? Because man, you're wasting my time.
If they're dumb,
if they're not funny.
What?
There's no redeeming quality.
Oh, there's no redeeming quality in it if it's not funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Then, it's just we were trying to be mean. In this case, like, so
jokes are supposed to be funny. I mean, that's like the whole point, right?
Yeah, it's in the dictionary.
Yeah, and some of them aren't even jokes. Like, hey,
Sammy, you're fucking crippled.
Right, Sam sent me like a link to a Mersh video where he's sitting there talking about crippled.
Oh my god,
like,
yeah,
that's good job,
shit.
buddy.
Yeah,
that's the maximum exposure to Mersh that I've had, because I was like 5 minutes later, I'm like, all right, well, this guy's a fucking idiot, so I'll catch up later.
This kid reminds me of Walt Jr.
Yeah,
oh wow,
funny?
What a dated reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is the clip that Mersh is playing that you're referring to. I was talking all of the shit. And Sammy was just like, yeah, fucking retard. I was the one that was being like, Mersh is a fucking idiot. He sucks and he lies and blah, 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 all this other shit. And Sam, he'd pull out the clips of Sam being like, yeah, Mersh fucking sucks, man. And be like, Sammy, you're Walt Jr., you faggot. Fuck you. How many viewers do you have? Hold on. How many viewers
my
do you have, you fucking faggot? Huh? I'm a
That's my favorite part too of this quarter is that so like step one, I hope anybody who has watched me for more than 5 minutes talk about anything ever understands that I don't fucking take myself seriously at all. And that any of these fucking people do oh my god, the stuff that Worski's been covering, Worski and PPP have been covering on Beardson. I'm like, where has this fucking guy been all my life? How do these people exist that get so self-obsessed? Beardson and other people, I couldn't name who. Sure. They get so obsessed with how fucking awesome they are when it's got to be like a mental disorder, right? Like either they don't like any normal person. Any normal person would walk out and like, what the fuck? Nobody knows who you are. Nobody relevant knows who you are. But why does that make a person anyway? Who goes out and brags about people know who I am? Fucking congratulations! Everybody knows who Jeffrey Dahmer is too. What's the fucking reward, you dumbass? You want a fucking ribbon because people know you?
Wisconsin legend, bro.
Well,
anyways, it's a mentality I don't get.
Well, and that is one thing I wanted to kind of bring up too. Is like one of the reasons why I like you and why I like the concept of your show is I'm like, wow, this is the first guy. By the way, I think you've killed Apex from laughter.
I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate it. I have not heard him laugh this hard.
I'm gonna go throw up real quick. I'll be right back.
Like I was saying earlier, you're like one of the only streamers I know that doesn't have like a huge ego about like I'm so and so. It's real weird too because anyone that knows me knows that I started kind of doing political commentary before I got dragged into this strictly. So it's real weird for me too because like Ethan Ralph and Baked Alaska and Nick Fuentes and all these people have tried to LARP at doing politics at one point or another, and it's
the building block of fucking gaming.
Yeah, and
how does that fucking happen? Anyway, sorry.
And I don't get it. I think the last I heard from Nick Fuentes, he's like he like called himself like a god or something, and he claims to be like Mr. Pious Catholic guy or something like that. I don't.
It's that whole
a movement.
That whole fucking situation is, at least from what I've seen of it, is so fucking bizarre. I made a tweet yesterday, especially if you watched the AFPAC 3 conference. The movement should be called Me First, because not one of them understood or had any continuity in the positions of the other. They all went up there and like, I'm gonna say my generic normal talking points, and then all the retards are like, yeah, generic normal talking points, woo! And then it switched to the next person and like, different generic talking points, and fuck whatever that person said. And everybody's like, yeah, different generic talking person, fuck whatever that person said, woo! What? And then,
yeah,
it was like a student council meeting. It was like a fucking fake UN that they put together at a middle school where everybody's like getting butthurt about not knowing what the other person's talking. And then at the end of it, that Stu guy, which was my absolute fucking favorite when they started covering his shit in the bag, the rapper who's saying Fauci needs to hang. Jesus Christ, where did this guy come from? Shitting on Marjorie Taylor Greene, which is fine, except for she was the fucking first speaker, and I don't even think he knew. And then fucking Pearson and Fuentes are talking about this on his stream later, and Fuentes is like, yeah, I had to let him go. Because Fuentes does some fucking jazz hands, right? I had to get him out of there because I mean, I didn't read his speech.
Yeah.
What? Well, you didn't read his speech that was talking about hanging fuckers and shitting on the other speakers? You're just like, come on in. Who are you? Your name is Stu? Hey, be a guest speaker because you're clearly fucking normal. God damn, that was. I can't even. I can't make heads nor tails of this America First and AFPAC shit because it's like it was written by a fucking comedian to try and trick stupid people into thinking that they're part of something big, and it's like, nah, you just
we're the real MAGA movement. No, you aren't, kiddo.
Who fucking brags about being an incel, by the way?
or a Volse,
or any type of cell, right? I don't get it. It's like, we're gonna go and how are you gonna make more cultures with no babies, you fucking idiots? I don't understand it.
I'm sorry,
we're trad. That's the opposite of trad, gentlemen. Trad is go get married, make babies. Anyway.
Yeah,
sorry. They make me lose my fucking mind.
No, this is one of the things that you and I kind of first bonded over, was how all these weirdo internet people just got into politics in the first place. It's honestly amazing because this is kind of where I feel old, because now there's a whole generation of people that doesn't know who Andrew Breitbart even was, and
right,
he wasn't even that long. He wasn't even that long ago.
Right? To me that seemed what 10 years. I mean,
yeah.
Started watching Gutfeld. So.
Oh yeah, okay. So no, it wasn't. I mean, blink of an eye for this fucking boomer. But yeah, no, it's weird. It's just the whole thing. The whole thing is weird, and like the whole target market, like for their initiations, are like, hey, let's get these frustrated teenage boys who like hate girls because they don't understand that they're the problem.
Yeah,
I'll never understand it, and anyway, it's just weird. It's so funny. But there's so much. If it weren't so fucking hilarious on so many levels, it would be scary as fuck, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's terrible. If it were an actual like bigger movement that had any power or control at all over anything, but they never will because they can't even like understand what they want. Well, it would be terrifying.
Well, what's hilarious to me is it's not a big movement at all, right?
No,
but then you have fucking CNN and all of those weirdos that make it into it.
Right. Well, and it makes they follow that shit around and they call it conservative, and it makes people like me.
Yeah.
I would, other than my liberal use of expletives, which usually for comedy, I was raised by a construction worker. What do you do? Some of it just settles in as part of your repertoire. But other than my liberal use of expletives, I'm not going to go over my list again, but I mean, I've never been in any trouble. I was a fucking virgin until I was married. Now I got married at 21, so it wasn't that hard to hold out or that much work. And so was my wife. She's going to be quick to point that one out. So we did like everything how we were supposed to do it. And pretty much everything worked out because we did. Except for Faith, for a very small section of her life, hopefully. But like, she's doing fine now. But everything's worked out really well for us, and because we've been the traditional conservatives and because we've gone along with kind of that way of doing things. And then you got these guys who are saying, I'm a traditional conservative and Christ is king. Hey, smash or pass. I get bitches pregnant when they walk by me. I mean, I apparently do too. I don't know where 3 of those kids came from. They all look the fucking same though, so I assume they're mine. Ha, just kidding. Oh, yeah, she's laughing. But it like I can't, and that's what, there's no exposure for these people to normal traditional conservatives, because I think that like normal traditional conservatives would stand up and fucking spank these little kids for being naughty because they're just fucking retarded.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, the other thing too was, so I think I told you, and a lot of the audience knows, I've been doing this shit since I was 14, doing podcasting, and
right.
And yeah, I admit, if you go back to like some of my, old episodes, I probably said 1 or 2 things that was cringy, but never on the level of, the 6 million.
But you still get a pass
questionable.
because you were 13, 14, right? I mean, that's
Right.
what 13, 14-year-old doesn't say cringe shit.
It's just ours wasn't recorded.
Yeah, ours just wasn't recorded. When I was 13, 14, mine just wasn't recorded. That's the only difference.
I was
said
literally
some
just
stupid shit.
I'm listening back to about 20, 30 seconds ago, and I was like rushing back to my microphone to be like, Sammy, you were a fucking child. You had of course you had bad takes, dude. Or not perfect takes or whatever.
But then to double down on those, like even now, is just which is what a lot of them do, is what's so cringy.
Well, it's the thing that interests me the most, and I find it there's a lot of things I just find fascinating about this whole corner, because why people, like, for one, your family's gonna get hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
How nobody's explained it to me. They just give these veiled threats of your family's gonna get hurt. You know why? Because people are gonna make fun of them. Are you fucking kidding me? Is that what counts? Is like actual doing harm these days, is throwing some shade? Because I'll never understand it. That's one. Two, the how, like, to take it, you take a position on something and then you're blatantly hypocritical about it, right? Christ is king. Baby, not married. Bam! Yeah. That's like, first of all, that's blatant hypocrisy. Let's get our threesome on is another blatant hypocrisy. Now, whatever, right? We already had this discussion of do whatever you're going to do, that's not illegal.
But
and
don't claim one and then
but
do
then
the
don't
other.
go be like, hey, by the way, I know that we couldn't get that threesome working, and I know that I be smashing bitches left and right, and Christ is king. Christ is king. What the fuck? Yeah, no, but it's like, especially when you live your life, and I'm not here talking about just
no, me neither.
My good friend. I'm talking about that whole fucking list. I love your sound effects, by the way. I need to put them on my board. But it's the, so you're gonna say this, but you live your life publicly, which a lot of these people do with these streams, and it's in blatant blatant. Not even like people have to go looking for the facts. It's blatant contradiction to what you said over here. How is this even possible? How do you go? And Fuentes, the first time I saw Fuentes was, I think, actually some of Ralph's live stream coverage when I was trying to keep track of some fucking shit. And he's like up on a car with a bullhorn, and it was exactly that. It was generic comment that I know people are going to go for. Well, you can't beat God because he's on our side. Woo! Yeah. And people go fucking crazy. And it's like, is that all it takes? Is just throw the people the fucking ear of corn that they want to hear, and then they fucking just cheer your name? Because that seems fucking easy.
Hold on, man.
To me, but I've never tried to recruit a cult.
MK Ultra, they figured that shit out a long time ago. Fear and I'm gonna go down the conspiracy pipe for a second here, but I think
stepping off Occam's razor. Bring it to me.
I think Fuentes is very much a Fed, or somehow, if I don't even know that term applies anymore, because I don't think he's like.
Yeah, I hear Fed a lot, and if you could clarify it for me, does Fed mean retarded? If it does, we're in agreement, right? If it does, we're both on the same page. I just want to make sure that I understand these new internet terms.
Yes, it does. It means
shit. Okay.
Retarded. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, ultimately, what is he? How old is that kid? He's like 18 years old now, right? 19?
Fuentes?
Yeah.
I think he's 23, if I'm not mistaken.
Fuck, really?
22, 23. I mean, he's still a fucking boy.
I don't think he's I don't think he's like a federal agent, but I absolutely think that he's been given passes for various things. He's been banned off of all sorts of things publicly.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't.
I don't know enough
messages,
about him other than every time I hear him, I think it's a fucking joke.
His message is too fucking stupid. It's too stupid.
Well,
he is too dumb.
Yeah, it's too
so
disjointed. Yeah, it's too disjointed. He's one of those. Everybody's met the type, right? Like, I'm different, and that's what makes me better, because everybody's fucking special, right? And the fact that I either like dudes, nothing wrong with that, or just want to pretend that I don't and say that the incel life is the way to be. And I mean, if you want to be don't have sex before marriage, fuck, man, I'm all on board, right? That I did that and it worked out really well for me. But to be saying that and then like, but it means I'm special and I think above you all and I'm a genius and I'm the best person of my day. What? Which is really kind of it's kind of a Chad fucking move if you're using it with a bunch of idiots to be like, look, I never get laid because I'm that fucking awesome.
I like, rule. Look, yeah, I get no pussy because I'm the fucking shit, bro.
I'm too good. I'm too good for pussy.
Yeah,
incredible take, dude.
I just don't get it. I don't get why one person in the world is following that kind of nonsense. It's like, but you know why it is? You know why it is? It's because now every other fucking kid out there who feels like they're never gonna hold a fucking girl's hand or sniff her hair or whatever the fuck the kids are doing these days can go, hey, I'm too good for pussy too. And that should be the fucking banner. America first. Exactly. We're too good for pussy.
Exactly. Bro, look,
I'm gonna make their merch.
I have a limited number of living siblings, and one of which is an older sibling, the only older sibling I've ever had. He's an older brother, kind of disconnected from me from a pretty early age, but recently we're in close proximity, and he's my brother. I mean, he's a half brother, but still, it's
still a brother.
Yeah, still family, right? And recently, I'd say within the last year, he tried to explain to me Volcel. And he used that term.
That's called a priest.
That's called a faggot. That's called a homosexual, just like the America First queers. That is a gay man.
What? No, well, I was explaining to Sam. I was I don't know, maybe one of the last people in the fucking country. We've met a few who my wife and I dated for 4 years. We did not have sex before we were married, right? Yeah. Wedding night, yeah, fucking went insane. But we didn't because we thought it was the right and smart thing to do, and it's worked out for us really well. So I guess from that terminology, from that standpoint, to for that 4 years. We were both Volcels, but is it like you say you don't want to? Because that was never the case.
No,
that was
exactly
for either of us. That was never the case. It was like one of the hardest things we've. I don't know, right? That one of the most difficult things we've ever had to do, right? And fine. But unless it's used in that context to say that, you know what, I just don't wanna. Okay. But like with anybody ever?
Look, women are bad, and they're going to lead me down a bad path, and I'm better off without women.
The maw of the beast.
Yeah, look, that is a cope. Steely put it. That is a cope.
It's a pretty fucking obvious one too. Yeah.
Bullshit. You don't need pussy. Bullshit. You don't need a woman. Bullshit. You don't need somebody else in your life. Now, I'm not gonna discriminate against the homosexuals out there because I don't get it, but I guess I do. Like, you need other people in your life.
We need people. I mean, the hierarchy of needs. Nobody. I mean, we're ultimately alone if we want to get really dark about shit. But everybody needs somebody else, and like I get that. But it's like I need my wife more than just for pussy and making me a sandwich, right?
Obviously.
First of all, if I told Mrs. Vickers, make me a sandwich, she'd laugh in my fucking face. Not that she's never made me a sandwich, right?
Sure, but if you just demanded her to make you a sandwich, yeah.
All I want from you is pussy sandwich and some delicious baked goods.
And some babies.
Get some babies to grow the white race, which I've unintentionally done a great job of, but I don't give a shit about that. I just want them to be good kids.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even be fucking married because she has a brain in her fucking head, which is my favorite part about her. That's why, it's. I don't want to do
sweet voice off camera. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I don't want. Yeah, I don't want to do the cliche thing, but literally, she's my best friend. Not the whole "my wife's my best friend."
No. That's not cliche at all.
No,
that is the American fucking dream.
Yeah, we do everything together because we enjoy each other's company most, right? Don't get me wrong. I have dudes who are friends, and I'm fine to hang out with them or anything else, but I don't think they would let me, or I'd want to fuck them after we got home from seeing a movie. Yeah. So that's definitely a benefit. But she's intellectually my equal, which always helps, and we like the same shit. And the shit that we don't like together, we learn to like together. So we just
doesn't just help. That's
stuff.
Imperative.
Yeah, we see some of this shit that's going on, and we just can't stop laughing. But so seriously worried about this small section of our population.
Yeah. What do you think of this? What do you think of just Trump 2024 and all of these? Do you think he's going to run again? And then all of these.
I think he wants to. I think he wants to. So, I give my hot take on Trump. Here's my hot take on Trump, which is not a hot take at all. Is I don't disagree. I can't think of a policy of Trump's that I disagree with, but that guy had some fucking if he could just lay off the look, here's the thing, I'm perfect at everything, I'm the best there is ever at everything. If he could lay off that shit, it would have been, I think, a lot better for the conservatives. But from a policy standpoint, I can't think of a single policy that I disagree with, because talking yourself up isn't really a policy issue, right? It's just I understand, if it was meant as a joke the whole time, it's just people like me with moving shit around on my desk. If Trump's just they fucking hate it when I talk about being perfect, how great I am. So I'm just going to do that every fucking time because it fucks with him. If that's why he did it, fucking kudos, because that's perfect, right? I'd love that. But I think he's going to want to run in 2024. I don't know if he'll win. But I don't think he'll lose if it's Biden Trump. I don't think Trump loses again.
No way.
Yeah,
I ask you something though?
You can't,
Mr. Vickers.
Yes, sir.
Loosening your perspective a little bit, just broadening it a little. Can you perhaps understand Ethan Ralph's internet persona solely based on what you just said, as far as thriving on the drama?
I could actually, and it's funny because one of our first conversations by email, right, was strictly I was, when I'm playing the good guy, in the early days when I'm trying to earn trust, so I can just try to sneak my kid out of the fucking clutches of
Get
shit.
your foot in the door jam.
And just kind of trying to learn. You learn a lot about people when you ask them about themselves and explain yourself. And one of the big things was, okay, well, tell me about this guy I'm now forced to fucking be bored to death by on the internet, that I have to take one half of my headset off or I'll go deaf from the screaming. And he explained it very much the same way. Oh, I would say that my internet persona is an exaggeration of my real persona. Well, and then he released revenge porn on my daughter and became a fucking criminal. So it really took any possibility of a broad interpretation, right down to really basic. Any tolerance I had for the man, or hope that there would be any amount of reconciliation, died on that day, especially when I was even fucking, I would have, if he would have apologized to anybody for any of it at any time, there could have been groundwork to at least
understand.
cease my
Yeah.
fatwa. But there never was. There's never been an apology in private. There's never been an apology in public because, you know, at first he couldn't. He'd been convicted now. Just fucking apologize for it. He won't.
No.
But like, it's simple shit that goes a long way when people have been wronged. And I'm never the person to say that there is no redemption for somebody.
Sure.
But I mean, there's gonna have to be some haloed fucking creature coming out of the sky with a sword and flaming wings to change my mind on that one at this point.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no particular love or any real at all, much less particular for Ethan Ralph. But when I look at the overall trajectory that he's taken over the years I've seen him, there is a tiny little part of me that feels bad for him.
It's hard not to, right?
Only because he's so committed. He committed a long time ago, and he's blind to everything you just said. All the things you just described, they don't even register.
No,
because he's like this. He's this wrestling character. He thought, you know, he could be both. He could have been both easily and happily, and been rich and had his kids and a relationship with his kids' grandparents, much less his kids' mothers. I have a bad look. I have a bad feeling that we're gonna see history repeated, and old Pantsu's gonna end up at her dad's house, and Ethan's not gonna be allowed there, and another kid gone.
Yeah,
and
well, and that's here's the long and short of that. And I don't even have to cite a specific person or talk about a specific example, but I'm pretty good at analyzing when, statistically speaking, a relationship isn't going to have the legs, and like every single part of it is a red. Because everybody can say what they will about whether I'm a good dad. There's no way for me to prove like I'm a good dad until the next kid comes along and just doesn't turn out to be a fucking murderer or something. Like, there's nothing I'm going to be able to use as proof, right? So it's like, I usually just go by the thing is I don't have anything to prove to anybody who doesn't matter, so who cares? But we can all say, and Mrs. Vickers can confirm audibly that she's not like chained to anything or anything else, right? So we've had a healthy, successful 23-year marriage. After 4 years of dating, we've been together, it's coming close to 30 years that we've been in a committed, successful relationship. So I do know a thing or two about that. And one of the things we've watched from the outside, really from the inside looking out from that successful relationship, is the kind of things that fucking destroy a relationship. And I mean, and we've seen stuff from shit that lasts a couple months, like with Faith, and shit that lasts maybe 9 years, but it's like doomed from the start, and you just know that they're gonna put okie dokie
for the chat.
Okay. But that they're going to put all this time into it with something that, again, if they're doing it wrong, it's going to fucking fall apart. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not a counselor. I'm not anything like that. I'm a guy who uses fucking common sense. And I mean, just examine what this person who we may or may not be talking about relationship is built on, and how it came to be, and what started, and the ideas of commitment and everything else like this. And you ain't seen nothing yet. It's just it's a trash fire waiting to happen unless everybody involved completely fucking changes overnight. It's doomed. It's fucking doomed. It's sad. It's sad for the kid and for like everybody involved in shit. My wife is raising her hand back and forth. Hang on one second, gentlemen.
There was one moment in time in the conversations I had with him where there was a glimpse of some self-reflection, and it snapped closed in a matter of hours.
Well, you guys catch that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And if I may, that was kind of the same. That was I noticed the same thing too when he was talking with.
You guys keep talking. Mrs. Vicious is listening. I just got to take a quick break, but she can still hear everybody. So
okay, Yeah, and I mean to your point, Mrs. Vickers, that was the same thing I kind of noticed watching the Medicare conversation. There was a brief moment where Medicare, points out that Ralph is basically addicted to, alcohol and pills, and Ralph says, "Well, I've been told that before, and there may be some truth to that." And there's a moment of clarity, and then again, he's that clarity disappears, and he goes back to being a rage pig and hollering.
Yeah, no,
So,
dude, it's it's an interesting dynamic, dude, because it is literally kayfabe. It's fake. These people on the internet are pretending. Tim Pool, Ethan Ralph, fucking Lauren Southern, Dave Rubin, who we talked about earlier. Owen fucking Benjamin. The list is infinite. Maybe not infinite, but it's quite long.
Yeah, it's
right. So these people, they're playing a part, and only some of them are actually playing a part. Or I'm sorry, only some of them aren't playing that part, and Ethan Ralph would be one of them because the evidence is ample. Oof! I will be right back, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, and I mean, I think also, I think what happens with a lot of these streamers too is they start off with good intentions, but then they almost become their own.
They become their character.
Yeah, they become their character, and when I was younger, a lot of my influences when I was younger was a lot of Rush Limbaugh. So when I was younger, I kind of I tried to, kind of personify Rush. And then when I was, probably around 17 or so, like one of my friends kind of took me aside and said, "Dude, you're not Rush Limbaugh. Wake up." And fortunately, I had someone who, to kind of give me that, and kind of be.
You didn't immediately respond with "fuck you."
Yeah. Yeah, and he was just like,
yeah, some self-reflection. Good for you.
And just be yourself. And so that's kind of how I've always been. Now, of course, obviously I'm not raking in, I'm not raking in 20,000 views off of E-drama. Granted, it's been a lot more of a slow burn, but I have longevity, which is something that a lot of these streamers don't have. And that's one other thing I'm that I find in music is people are like, "Oh, what is Faith gonna tell her son, in 10 years when when Xander asked about Ethan Ralph?" And
my favorite of those fucking Twitter bans was what is it? I don't even remember the user's name, and honestly, who cares? But they had said, well, you might want to make sure he knows his dad because, he can know his genetic history. I'm like, have you guys heard of these fucking tests you could just buy at Target that are way more accurate than somebody from West Memphis, Arkansas telling you the daddy's history? I mean, come on. Let's exercise some science. But somebody actually said that you should make sure he knows about everything because he can know. Then he needs to know his genetics. God damn, that was pretty funny.
Well,
somebody's going to tell him who Ralph is.
Well, nobody said that. Nobody said that. I think I cut. Yeah, I think I actually cut Sam off. I'm sorry, Sam. Get back. You were talking about somebody.
No. I think though that's that's my point is Ralph, and I could ask the same thing for Mersh. I don't think either of those guys are going to be around in 10 years, given given how much they both drink and smoke.
Not given the status quo. I mean, Ariana and I both, we've had shit. It was her best friend, her maid of honor, her brother. He's 1 year younger than us. He's the same age as my brother. He died 3 years ago. Died 3 years ago at 41 years old because he drank, just fucking all the time hard liquor. I had a cousin who I barely saw when I was a kid. Hadn't really talked to her in like 20 years until my grandma died, and then she got back in touch with me, and she was 42, and she died for the same reason. And if you've never seen or smelled what happens when a hardcore alcoholic dies,
I've seen.
Yeah, it's not fucking pretty, like, at all, and there's nothing to do about it. You can't stop it because the damage is done.
Yeah, no, my uncle, my dad's brother, was a hardcore alcoholic, and he actually he died at 60. He died at 65, and the only reason why he lasted that long was because he was a fireman up in Telluride, Colorado. So I mean, he was physically fit,
in good shape, right? Yeah,
but
no, my dad passed at 62, and he was a hardcore alcoholic, but he wasn't the hard liquor, so he just drank a lot of beer all the time. I mean, he'd easily a 36 pack a day for quite a while, like for years. And then he got but slow burn throughout the day, so he was never like stumbling drunk or anything. And of course, his tolerance was fucking high by that point. But ended up giving himself. It wasn't his liver. The irony is, my father at 62 died with what the coroners described as a perfect liver, which is why I don't drink. Right, I don't get hangovers, and I probably inherited a fucking indestructible liver genetically. So I just avoid this stuff. I don't completely avoid. I mean, I drink socially, but two cocktails, like 3 cocktails is me having a huge party. Like that never happens, right? But it was congestive heart failure is what it ended up giving him. And so the lots and lots and lots of Bud Light over time, died on the toilet, and neighbors had to find him because I lived 8 hours away. So it catches up with you every single time. I'm sure that the Diet Dr. Pepper I drink has some kind of a fucking sweetener tumor resting on the rage center of my brain. I'll deal with that, when we get it. Hopefully I'll make it past 62. We'll see. But I think I will.
Well, at this point, you're going to outlive Ethan, Ralph, and a lot of these other weirdos. And I'm not
statistically speaking, and that's whether or not it's alcohol that does in the liver and collapses the body. You're just getting murdered in a fucking foreign country.
Yeah, just getting beat the fuck up in a foreign country trying to.
And I'm not even talking about Ralph. I'm just talking about any of these guys. It's like, could you imagine fucking Beardson mouthing off?
Well, look, any of these fucking retards walking around with a text-to-speech super chat thing.
God,
nigger, right? Nigger. Like, let me walk it around downtown Chicago. And,
there's like a whole bit on one of the fucking Die Hard movies instead of like TTS. It's a fucking A-frame sign right in the middle of Harlem, right? Like that was a tool to make somebody die.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that's
it's bizarre, man. It's weird. Man. That whole thing is just fucking
all right.
Weird.
Look, Sammy and Mr. Vickers and Mrs. Vickers, who I know can hear. I don't want to be rude, but we are pushing 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I don't want to just.
It's almost 1 a.m. where Sammy is shit. You guys don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to keep rambling, Sammy. I know you'll do this shit all fucking night because you're in a wheelchair. What the fuck you else got to do? But us able-bodied people got things to do. That was the meanest thing I've ever said to you, Sam.
God. Yeah, that had a little tear coming out for that. I'm like, shit.
Look, I am the co-host. I try to be entertaining. Entertaining.
Yeah, that's I would rephrase that.
Nope, I said it 3 times.
Fair enough.
And the worst thing it is that didn't even phase me. Although that was a better insult than what Mersh tried to throw.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a pretty fucking low bar on the stuff I've heard. But
look, Walt Jr. Daddy put my pant on for me. My name is Sam Whitfield.
That's
I drive a
God damn.
Whitfield.
that's a that's a better impression here there too. Yep.
God damn it! I fucking love you, dude.
Mountain
I love you, Sammy.
Mountain Rogue says ableist. Yeah, you think?
Holy fucking
yeah.
shit!
Can
we go to? Can I go to sleep? Can we go? Can we kill this thing, Sammy? Or do you want to? Can I just keep rambling like a retard?
No, we can kill it.
All right.
Wrap up here.
Hold on. Shh. I would personally like to thank Mrs. Vickers right now.
Yes.
In the background.
She salutes you.
I don't need that. That's what I needed was just the sound of her voice coming from the background saying giving some positive affirmation.
Kind of, but also that's where a bitch belongs, right? In the background.
Right.
America first.
America first, motherfucker. Stay off camera, bitch.
America first.
Oh, God, she's gonna punch me in the nuts later for that one.
No, hold on. Look,
I gotta fall asleep sometimes, gentlemen.
We've done 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I think the last 55 seconds has been the best. It's been the best part.
Well, we've had a couple of
it's been a great show, and Mr. Vickers and Mrs. Vickers, I was just joking. Thank you both sincerely very much for responding to Sammy, for coming on the show.
You bet.
I'm sorry for being an idiot. I'm just kind of, I'm the house.
We had a good
retard.
time. Hey, we had a good time, and this was like my whole point with the stream is I just had a lot of fun. I know Mrs. Vickers had a lot of fun because she's been smiling and nodding like, I get it. Fuck them all.
Well,
the whole time. So why wouldn't I do this?
Well, listen,
hold on, Sammy. Listen, you crippled bastard. Let me get my able-bodied comments in first.
Okay, I'll let.
I actually didn't have anything else to say. I literally just wanted to sincerely thank both of them for coming on and responding to the request and all that other sincere gay bullshit. So, yeah, go ahead, Sammy. So the floor is yours to roll to.
See that's
I'm
that's
terrible.
a good.
I'm a bad person.
It's okay. I mean,
Jesus Christ, I just got it. I'm fucking stupid.
I mean, see, look, I'm crippled, but he's retarded, so
it's a perfect combination. I am mentally crippled. Sammy is physically crippled. We just kind of mesh.
So
yeah, it worked out.
But anyway, Sammy, sorry, seriously, go ahead.
When are you guys going to start streaming, and how often do you think you guys are gonna? And more importantly, will Mrs. Vickers be one of the co-hosts? She should be, at least for one of them.
As long as she's available, and she just stays in the fucking background and minds her own business and takes my cues like a good trad wife.
Yeah,
it's all about if it's enjoyable and if we're having fun. Our show is going to be right now planned on Thursdays at 6:00. We're probably going to rotate panelists in. I don't commit anybody to anything. Yes.
What is the channel? The name of the YouTube channel?
It is The Good, the Bad, and the Vicious.
Okay.
Because I wanted to go with the cheesiest fucking cringe name that I could.
That's fucking solid.
I love it. I love the fucking 2014 style editing I do with Premiere. It all makes me happy. And that's the point. But Thursdays at 6, rotating panelists probably, just until we find our groove and like whether or not we enjoy it or want to keep doing it or whatever. I got a fourth man who is going to be with me who's been a friend with me, friend of mine, and Mrs. Vickers for a long time. We actually met him at our wedding. Good guy, but he got busy, so he's like, cut me in later when you guys kind of find the flow. So
Bro,
we're just gonna see what works.
Can I make a suggestion?
You can.
I don't know if you haven't thought of this. I haven't heard you say it, so I'm going to suggest
I keep a lot of secrets.
Good,
so who fucking knows?
Good, bad, vicious. You should. I mean, Mrs. Vickers by default good. You could cycle between bad and vicious. You could have a guest on per topic.
We try.
We try.
Well, and what's interesting is because we're talking about, I think it looks like at least the poll is winning for talking about horror video games for this first show. And the cool thing is that Mrs. Vicious and I mean, we, what did I buy? I bought the family for Christmas, the arcade 1-up, the Simpsons one, where it's 4 players at once.
Oh shit.
And they all won. And it's like, that's nostalgia for us. I mean, we played that shit together when we were in school, like together. So as it go, I mean, and we've known each other. We did, I think we started dating our senior year of high school, right? But we knew each other since 6th grade. So we're in band together. So we've always hung out, at some form.
How many years? Hold on. How many years is that?
Oh, fuck. 6th grade's like 11 years old.
Yeah.
11, 12 years old. 11, 12 years old to, well, it would
30,
be 11, right? 11 would be the beginning of
30 something years,
35. To 45. So 34 years.
Nice. Hell,
Nice.
Fucking yeah, dude. That is an icon. That is a pillar that should be held up amongst any community.
I always talk about how fucking awesome we are. I could do that all night long.
I'll fucking kick Sammy in the face. And God damn it.
Jesus
I'm sorry.
Christ. I'm going to stop being a good person. I'm the pillar. I would Sammy in the fucking face.
Look, I would kick Sammy in the face if it meant the only way I could say you guys were good people. That's what I was trying to say. I wouldn't just do it willingly.
Just so that we're clear, I heard you loud and clear. Sammy's face can remain unkicked. I don't need that fucking guilt.
I would hold on, time out. Look, lore already dictates in this 3-hour fucking stream that Sammy has a rape.
Yeah,
he has crab legs that reach out way further than my 2.5, 3 foot legs can reach. So I have no match. It was just a joke. I would try to kick Sammy in the face, and I would get crab legged and ripped, down the middle from the leg.
That is fucking like Starship Troopers.
What?
Fucking clipping off body parts.
You have no idea. It's more like I mean, actually, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's the first fucking thing I thought.
What an asshole this
I know, right? This fucking piece of shit co-host you've had for 3 goddamn years. What the fuck?
This weirdo.
What a fucking snake! That's my new favorite word.
This weirdo that
kick this crippled piece of shit in the face. This
weirdo that looks like the predator. That looks like the predator on Twitter keeps bullying this poor crippled. Yeah.
This fucking emaciated, this 6'3" emaciated fucking skeleton wearing a predator mask, looking like a crazy person, is outside my house doing karate kicks, threatening to kick me in the face. I don't know what to do. Officers, help me. Florida cops show up and they kill me. Good. And everything's fine.
But they still show up because they believe because it's Florida.
Oh hell yeah!
No,
dude, I love Mrs. Vickers just in the back. I don't know if the audience can hear her.
She's on fire tonight, gentlemen.
I don't know if the audience can hear her, but I can hear her in my headphones, and it's amazing, and I love it very much.
No, just my crazy Marine sniper friend might just
No. Alan Powell was resurrected by my hand. You cannot invoke him on me. I brought him back from the dead. It's fine.
Well,
look, you can. He's your security. That's fine, but he will not kill me. He can't.
Well, I wasn't invoking Alan, although that is part of the lore that I'm sure Mr. Vickers will have fun with once the.
No, he doesn't care.
once the merch doc comes out.
Ooh,
so.
maybe that's a good point. That's a good point because Alan Powell is quite prominent. Anyway,
Oh,
Sammy,
yeah.
seriously, let's let these wonderful people go to sleep.
We gotta
Personally,
get 2 hours in before we're up in the middle of the night watching home movies and forgetting who the fuck we are because we're so old.
well, look,
Yeah.
listen, you old bastard. If you don't watch Dune 2021 as loud as you can watch it,
You'll never know.
I
I'll
will be
never
very-
fucking remember. Like,
I'll
what?
be very mad at you. No,
Okay.
I trust Mrs. Vickers to remember.
She'll
You don't have
remember.
to
Her
watch it
mind's
tonight.
still keen. I'm gonna go like Dune 2021, and then my kid's gonna rush here and like, did you play Doom 2016? I'm just not gonna know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, Doom 2019. Did you play Doom 2019? Wait, what the fuck? You're breaking.
Fucking
Hey, what?
That fucking kid, man.
Short
He
circuit.
cracks me up.
Anyway, Sammy,
And
you want to play us out, buddy?
yeah. Anyway, though, Thursdays around 6 p.m.
Yeah, Thursday 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan, and we're just gonna see what happens and like throw shit against the wall and see what people like. Why not?
Alrighty.
We will link that channel in the description. That's right.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Appreciate it.
And if you ever need a panelist, just let me know. So,
Oh, definitely. Yes. Yeah. People be coming in and
well-
out. It'll be fun. Not you, Apex. You mean?
So.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say more mean things. I don't know why I'm being so mean to Sammy. I love him so much.
You
that's
know,
all.
I don't know. I don't know, Apex. I might have found a new co-host if you're if you're not too careful.
Good luck, you
So-
crippled bastard.
So-
Jesus Christ. God damn it, dude. I'm sorry.
Anyway, no, you're good. Anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. Next week will be my 15-year anniversary show, so tune in for that as well. We might have a few surprise guests on.
Listen, I love Sammy more than my own siblings, who most of which are dead, to be honest with you. But I love them too. But Sammy is
My
my
wife's
little
over here
brother.
like she likes him more than her brother-in-law.
Look, Sammy.
I
Sammy,
hope he was listening.
Sammy
That's
is
it.
my little brother. Sammy is my little brother, and I will disable. I will disable all those defenses, and I will physically hug you at one point in time, someday soon. I'm gonna give you a good old brother hug. No homo. Well, no homo because I will disable your defenses because I know how that chair works.
That you do. But
Anyway, good night, chat. I love you guys.
Good-
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Vickers, for
Thank
joining
you.
us. I appreciate it very much.
Super fun, guys.
And,
Probably the longest show in 5 years.
well, yeah, well, and at least 2. I will say that. So, but
All right.
thanks for
Way to
coming
screw
on,
me,
and
Sam.
we I'd love to have you back on again, and
Yeah,
yeah,
anytime.
so thanks to everyone in the chat for tuning in, and for I don't think we got any super chats, but thanks to the new subs as well. So
Good night, everybody.
good night, everyone, and God bless.
Good night. Same here.
Thanks for listening to The Whitfield Report on the NGC Network. Please visit Sam's website at www.thesamwhitfield.com and support Sam on Patreon at patreon.com/Whitfield Report. Until next time, God bless, God save this great nation, and God, freedom, legacy, in that order.